Welcome back to Tokusatsu episode 4.
That is correct. It is, in fact, episode 4.
You figure as the one who's like editing it, I would know that better. But I was still had to guess. My name is Scott. I've seen a little Tokusatsu.
And my name's Doma, and I've seen a lot of Tokusatsu.
I've realized now that because of the name. Oh, we've both seen the most recent Tokusatsu, by the way. We'll finish that up. I realized because of the way we named the podcast.
It will mess with our pronunciation.
Yes.
Yeah. 100% will mess with our pronunciation of Tokusatsu.
Tokusatsu. Just like Tokunatsu.
Oh,
no, it was Tokonatsu.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Coconuts.
I'm all over the place. I am coconuts.
We are on Gavv 29 and...
28.
Oh, Gavv 28.
28, 29.
Yep. 28, 29 and Gozyuger 6 and 7.
Man, I was so hype after Gavv 27.
Gavv 27 was a nuts episode.
That's probably still my favorite episode of Gavv so far.
Hands down.
And I don't want to get it. We should run through the episodes first before I talk about how I'm feeling.
We will.
28, picking up right where we left off. No intro. This is one of my favorite things in like anime or tokusatsu, just TV in general. When they skip the intro.
Yep, no cold open.
Because you know they need that extra 2 minutes. You're like, fuck, we need the 2 minutes. We can't fucking play the intro. It gets me hype.
And they didn't just skip the intro. They also kind of skipped the outro, where they actually did get those extra 2.5 minutes. And they made it work. It was insane.
Yeah, that's like an extra 5 minutes basically added to the show.
Yeah.
And they needed it.
They did need it because this episode was we still think 27 was the best episode thus far, but 28's a banger.
27 was better. Anyway, so we start. Hanto is super fucked up.
That's an understatement.
He's not doing good. Shoma drags him, I think, to Happy-Pade, right?
Yes, they're at Happy-Pade, and Shoma is talking with Sachika on the phone.
Yeah, he makes a phone call, turns around, Hanto's gone.
Yep, just immediately dips. It's like, you had one job, Shoma.
Hanto is like wandering the streets. I guess it's like a movie thing where like they're looking for trouble. Like they're just wandering around trying to get in a fight.
Right.
Hanto's like catatonic. He gets the shit beat out of him by some guys.
Yeah, just some random dudes.
Yeah, he gets his shit beat and he gets up and he doesn't even care. That's how emotionally wrecked he is.
And it's a great way to depict that because, he's a Kamen Rider. He should be able to fight off like monsters and just random people. He should have the strength behind it. But he's so mentally and emotionally compromised that he can't do anything. He's just getting absolutely blown away by these random thugs.
I know. This reminded me of like the first episode of Gozyuger where Horu's getting beat up by those guys in the parking lot.
That is true, but Horu wasn't nearly as emotionally compromised.
No, obviously. But I just feel like, I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of tokusatsu where like they just get beat up by a bunch of random civilians.
It doesn't happen very often because so often you see in tokusatsu where they're fighting, otherworldly monsters or like the enemy of the week. You don't really get a lot of encounters with random civilians. And I think that just goes to show, it makes it a very pointed distinction in what this scene is showing. Hanto is absolutely fucked.
Yeah, I also think like a lot of the times civilians are shown in these shows as like people to protect, or like people that are working hard and trying their best. So you gotta help them out. So it's rare to see like just shitty people.
That is an excellent point.
Like these guys fucking suck. He bumps into them and then they're like, "What the fuck, bro?" And like anyone looking at Hanto would see like this guy's fucked up. Like he got messed up somehow.
Yeah, he did.
And they're still just like beating the shit out of him.
Honestly, one thing Gavv has as a strength just in general, very good at depicting very shitty people.
Yeah, there's a lot of shitty people. I feel like the amount of shitty people only makes Sachika look more like a saint.
Yeah, that comparison, that foil is pretty necessary considering the world of Gavv is a terrible place.
Oh, I'd like to see. Okay, so there's like a famous like what if story called Superman Red Sun,
Right.
where instead of landing in Kansas and being raised American,
Oh,
he
he
lands like
lands in
in
the Soviet
Russia.
Union. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to see like an alternate universe Gavv where he just meets like a shitty person instead of the kid in Sachika,
That almost
and they just
happened.
raise him. Yeah, they raise him to be like a fucking Yakuza guy.
Yeah, I
That'd be
mean,
cool.
there was that episode where he got caught by that one dude and they broke into the other guy's house
Oh
and
yeah. Oh
then
my
they tried to
god.
steal money. So it did almost happen.
It almost happened. That's true because that was he left Sachika and then he came back, right?
Right.
Damn, he could have stayed with that guy, but he already knew it at that point that that was wrong.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
Shoma's already a good boy, but no, we got to see evil Shoma at some point.
I feel like we just saw a lot of evil shown.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Bitter Gav storyline actually relevant this episode as well.
Oh yeah, everything came to a head.
Everything came to a head.
Everything came to my head. After Hanto gets beat up, he goes back to the office where his master was, obviously to reveal that Suga is the reason his master got killed in the first place. Crazy. And this is kind of, I didn't notice this, or I didn't remember this, but he still has like the half of his master.
Yes, he does still have
just like in his
like,
pocket.
his part. Well, maybe just as a reminder, he's 100% it shows this episode, but I think ever since he died initially, he's always had the survivor's guilt to it, you know? Like, it's always just clung to him, and that's always just going to be a physical manifestation of that.
Yeah, I'm down with it as a metaphor. It's still kind of creepy because it's half his body
You know,
just
that's
in his
true.
pocket, just carrying around half
Carrying
a
around
body in your
a
pocket.
dead body. I mean, yeah, it's morbid, but it's also very good at showing what they're trying to show.
So Hanto has a breakdown in the office again, blaming himself. He's flashing through all of his scenes with his master, and then Shoma comes in, to grab him. But before any of that, I want to say Shoma's sweater glows in the dark.
You know, a detail I never noticed.
Yeah, a detail I never noticed because I feel like the show never did anything with it. I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of neat. Like, why not put him in nighttime scenes?
That's true. It's also kind of like, it's very metaphoric. Like, he's the light in the dark kind of deal.
He's literally glowing. I see.
That's interesting. I didn't notice that.
Maybe it didn't glow until this episode where they're like, oh, what if it glowed?
They had to design an entirely new jacket for him. Like, they made this jacket for this episode.
But Hanto feels guilty not only about his master dying, but how he's treated the Shoma.
Right.
He's like, I pushed you away, I blamed you, leave me alone. Basically, like, leave me to die. Like, I suck.
Yeah, and even there's a line where he says, like, why are you getting thrown around by a weakling like me? You're a granite, aren't you? Like, this window of how he currently sees himself, where he just sees himself as a shitty person. He sees himself as, like, a weakling. Like, it's a moment of vulnerability you don't get much in a lot of media. I think it was done well in this scene, and it just goes to show you that this actor is god tier. Holy shit.
He's very, very good. But yeah, a lot of this episode in general is about Hanto's reckoning with being a weak human. And by the end, it's something he even chooses to be, which is cool. Because, I mean, his path to being a writer has been about, like, modifying himself. He got the Granute organ put inside of him because he was too weak. And he felt like he needed to become something else to be strong.
That is an excellent point. Huh.
Yeah, by the end of this episode, we'll see he chooses to be a weak human, as he says. Even though he's very strong now. Stronger than ever before, in fact.
Yeah, it's crazy hype. And then while all of this is happening, they have the A/B plot. Like, everything's coming to a head this episode. Sachika is over with Dente. They're working on the new Vrastum gear.
Yeah, she redecorates his entire little cave.
Yeah, it's pretty wholesome, actually. Like, she cleans up for him, and
Yeah, the boys are going through traumatic reconciliation, and meanwhile we're having queer eye for the Granute guy in the cave.
Granute guy. Yeah, which is pretty cute because you get a little scene where Dente's talking about how he wants to work on this Vrastum gear for Hanto to kind of thank him for keeping an eye on Shoma, keeping him safe, which is really cute. It's like,
yeah, he says it's the least he could do.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I mean, Dente at this point is still just like kind of a comedy character. But I wonder genuinely, like, how guilty does he feel about the dark trees? You know, he made them. They wouldn't exist without him.
It's definitely there. Like there's something behind it. They'll probably dig into it further. I mean, we're halfway through the series. We're over halfway through the series at this point.
Mhm.
I don't know how much time they'll have to dig into Dente's development further, even if he was maybe initially designed as a comedy foil for the series, because the series in general has been pretty dark for the most part.
Yeah. The thing about Gavv, like, the whole time, even when I started watching it as it came out, and when I was trying to tell you to watch it, the thing I said is, like, it's like a good Gotchard. Like, the tone is
Yeah,
like Gotchard, where it's very bright, colorful, happy, but there's real stakes to it. Like, there's real shit that happens.
right.
And I feel like Dente obviously is like that. Like, you look at him, he's like a big doofy monster suit. But he's got, if this was a human, they'd be dealing with a lot. And I feel like it'd be very interesting to explore how him putting on this kind of happy go lucky front like masks guilt and pain. I don't think we're gonna get that. but, but I think you could do something with it.
Yeah, there's
But his
definitely an avenue for exploration there, and that excites me.
I doubt it just because of his design. Like sometimes you see a monster suit and you're like, oh, they might do something with it. But when you look at him and it's like, oh, okay, he's just a big funny monster guy. Like I can't see them doing like real dramatic monologues cutting to like his fucking whale face.
You know what I want to see actually? I want to see them coming back to him. Well, we'll get more into it when we talk about episode 29, but I
Mm.
want to see what his relation to our new big bad is.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I thought you were gonna say you want to see a flashback, which I'd be down for as well.
Flashback would also be good, but also like I want to see like how deep in it the stomach family is in with our new big bad family.
Bum bum bum. So, but well, before that, after Shoma kind of pulls Hanto out of the dark room, they go and get frappes.
It's pretty cute.
Hey, Dominic,
Yeah.
I've never gotten a frappe.
I am quite the proponent. I'm a connoisseur of many different types of drinks.
Uh-huh.
I have definitely ordered a McDonald's McCafe frappe before, and it
Okay.
probably won't be the last time. But I do that.
How close is it to ice cream?
Exactly 0% close. I wouldn't say it's
I
ice
thought it was
cream at
like a
all.
frozen coffee with like whipped cream on top. Am I far off? Or
That is exactly it is exactly what a frappe
okay.
is.
Also, I don't know who serves frappes from a cart in the middle of the street.
In Japan only, I suppose.
I guess get your ice cold frappe on the riverside.
Perfect atmosphere for our two boys to be drinking their frappes, though.
Yeah, so Shoma buys them frappes and then he sits really fucking close to Hanto.
Oh yeah,
like like disturbingly close. Like his leg is like almost on top of Hanto's leg. Like that's how close he sits down. And Hanto kind of like shuffles away. And I was kind of expecting Shoma to like shuffle closer again.
nah, no. No, he knows when Hanto pulled away. He's like, all right, gotta respect his
Hmm.
boundaries a little bit.
Yeah, so Hanto lectures Shoma a little bit about, it should have been a hot drink. Like, this is how you should handle this situation as a human.
As a tea drinker, I agree.
As a hot water drinker, you should agree.
Listen, all right.
Shoma's like, okay, like, I'll make note of this for next time, which is, I think it was cute.
Yeah, they're gonna go
Like,
on
he
more
still
dates.
wants to be, they are going to go on more dates, but he wants to be human more, I think, or like feel more connected.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, this is when the ship sailed for me. 10 out of 10.
The ship's been sailing for me. Uh, Shoma has this big monologue about how you deal with survivor's guilt because he's felt it too. Obviously, I mean, even his flashback shows Hanto's mom. Here's Hanto thinking about his master, and Shoma feels the same way about Hanto's mom, which is, it's very interesting. It's very, it just ties them closer together.
Right.
And the conclusion that he comes with is that you have to move forward, and moving forward in itself is atonement, which I think is cool.
It is cool. And I
Yeah.
think also on a emotional standpoint, the fact that Shoma is, rather than invalidating the way Hanto's feeling, it's like, oh, you shouldn't feel this way. Oh, this is not the way to do it. He's more validating this emotion, letting him know, hey, it's okay to feel this way. I get it. I've been there before. Like, we're both there right
Mm-hmm.
now. And kind of, they're there together, and he's not really pushing him away or anything. It's that emotional connection that
Mm.
really hits the right spot. I think the writing for this scene was done very well too.
I think it was. I think the parallel between both of their moments of survivor's guilt was well done. I think we've been kind of shit talking, or at least I've been shit talking about how this second breakup in their relationship didn't feel neat the way the first one did. Like this one about Hanto just being upset about his stuff with his mom.
Right.
And I feel like I guess that they were building to this moment where they could make that parallel where it's like they both have the same kind of story about survivor's guilt.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, I would say it was worth it. Obviously, I'm wrong. I'm gonna say this every time. I'm wrong a lot.
And that's okay.
I don't know if they had spaced out the breakups more. Maybe I would have been like not as weird about it because of the fact that they broke up, got together, and then broke up immediately again. To get to this point, I think it was worth it. I don't know if spacing wise in the show it could have been improved.
I will agree that the pacing is a little odd, but at the same time, it's pretty common for really tokusatsu series to, in the last 20-ish episodes of the series, to kind of pick up and pace action wise. So for
Mm,
emotional beats, it's kind of hard to fit those in. So they kind of have to get it in where they can.
I guess so. I mean, obviously, nothing's perfect. We can always think of ways things can be better. But I mean, rather than better, we can always think of ways that things could be better for us,
Right.
not necessarily the entire audience of Japanese children that are watching this show.
Everybody knows that half the audience are adults, anyways.
I don't know. Half is a big amount. There's a lot of children. Well, I guess actually there's not a lot of children in
That's
Japan.
the
That's a
issue.
problem. Yeah, wait. Huh.
These series are made for us now.
Not for maybe for Japanese adults. I don't think they're made for foreigners.
Okay, you know what? Fair point.
Although
You got me
we'll
there.
get into that maybe after we do these episodes. There's a little exciting news.
This is very true.
What else is exciting is that Lakia goes to Suga's place.
Ooh, yeah. This is the head off for Suga that, was it was a
Mhm.
reckoning that was on its way.
I do like that Lakia gets there and like obviously he's there for a fight, and then Suga just kind of throws Bitter Gavv like a Pokemon. He's like, "You handle it, Bitter
Yeah, pretty
Gavv."
much. He's like, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, he packs up his shit and runs away.
And then Lockyer just kind of lets it happen, but also, like, man's on a mission. You gotta respect the focus.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't think Lakia or Vram could have handled a Bitter Gavv and a Bake. Although he wouldn't. I don't know if he knows that Suga is a rider yet.
Yeah, no, that part was definitely. He was not present for that portion of the past couple of episodes, so
Mhm.
he's definitely just there to end Bitter Gav.
Yeah, he goes to Suga after going to Dente with Dente and Sachika to get the Rastrum gear like studied.
Right.
So I assume they filled him in on like the parking lot stuff, but I don't know if they checked in with Shoma to know about Bake yet.
Oh, fair enough.
We do also, before Suga leaves, we get a little bit more of what he's trying to do. He's trying to make the perfect life form, or as I call it, cell.
Yeah, Cell. And that blows my prior theory out of the water. That he's
Yeah.
trying to make a body for himself.
He is not a 1,000-year-old creeper.
He's kind of he's this mad scientist. It fits the bill.
We do get, I think we get about as much as we're going to get of his backstory at the end of this episode.
100%. With the way this arc ended, there's 0% chance he comes up again.
Well, so anyway, after he runs away, he shows up before Hanto and Shoma, and he's just like, "Hey, Hanto, like, come with me." And I don't know what he was expecting to happen there. Just genuinely.
Honestly, you're absolutely right. He's like, hey, I may have just traumatized you, but you can still work for me.
Yeah, he's just like, "Hey, buddy, you want to be strong, right? Hop on."
I mean, okay. Here's the thing about it. I think that
Mhm.
this is a good illustration of what a toxic relationship is like. The person who is negatively affecting the partner may not be in the right mind space or may not have the perspective to realize that what they've done to that person is negative. And I'm not trying to be like devil's advocate here, but
Yeah.
it's clear that Suga is not emotionally capable of processing that he is absolutely fucked up Honto.
I just thought like he's portrayed as so smart, and then this is so stupid. But I guess you do see that a lot.
Yeah, to that end, you have a lot of very intelligent people that are smart in a lot of ways, but they're not emotionally intelligent. And
That's true,
this
I guess.
lack of emotional intelligence just drives them to do really, really stupid social shit.
It does kind of humanize him in a way, I guess.
Little bit. Man's on the spectrum.
On the spectrum. Check out Love on the Spectrum on Netflix.
Oh, God. I forgot you watched that.
I do. It's cute. It's very cute. People online are weird about it, though. Sometimes they like infantilize them.
Understandable. The people online would be weird about it. But let's not make Suga weird.
let's not make Suga weird for how little more we have of him.
Yeah.
Shoma goes caking. He's like, Honto, get away from him. And then he gives Honto the candy bike, like he spawns it. He's like, get the fuck out of here.
And then in a surprise twist, he does.
He gets out of there. Does he know to go to Dente? Like, he just goes to Dente. Or he's going to Dente to get him to help Shoma or something?
Yeah, he's trying to get help for Shoma. And I did kind of forget watching this episode initially that he was told before not to henshin because of the stress it has on his body, and that's why he just hasn't been doing it.
Yeah, well, because he doesn't have, I guess he doesn't have any Shoma chocolates.
Right.
Because the dark chocolates fuck up his body.
Well, no, he has at least one, because in the scene where Shoma and Honto are in the office, like, the chocolate is there. I think the issue is more with the...
Is it just the Vrastrum gear? Or not Vrastrum gear, the Valen Buster?
Yeah, I think it's just the Valen Buster in general that put the stress on his body, just because the way it was designed, which is why when he gets to Dente is like, oh, I made you a Vrastrum gear, but it's more designed to put less stress on your body.
I don't know. Well, I mean, again, considering what we'll see in the episode after this, I'm not sure if that's the case.
I mean, that's what he said.
No, I know about that part is true.
Right.
But about the Valen Buster.
Oh, that's probably true, yeah.
In a montage in the next episode, we do see him as base Valen again.
Yeah, kind of sussy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just like he didn't want to use the Valen Buster in front of the guy who made the Valen Buster or something. Well, he was also really wounded. So maybe, I'm sure Shoma was telling him to leave just because he was wounded, not because he couldn't henshin.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So he goes to Dente. He gets the new Vrastrum gear.
Oh, hold on. Before we touch on that.
Oh.
I feel like this is the first time we've seen Caking in a while. He did henshin into Caking for this fight against Bake. And the crazy part about this fight is, Caking is supposed to be one of his stronger forms, right? He's getting 100% rolled by Bake.
Yeah, he's getting destroyed by fucking Bake. Something else about Caking I noticed, that the top of his head is still black, like the undersuit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
so
crazy.
It looks like he's a bald guy wearing a crown, which I don't know. That's something.
Yeah, that's something. You already didn't have very high standards for Caking, and honestly, you've lowered mine just a bit.
Oh, you're cutting out, but I'm sure in the recording it'll be fine.
100% it'll be fine in the recording. Discord is ass.
Fuck Discord.
Thank you.
We love you, Discord.
We don't.
Yeah, so he goes and picks it up from Dente, but turns out Dente, who was shit talking Neil last episode, can't figure out how to make the pudding.
Listen, all right? It was a stroke of creator's block. I get it. We get that all the time. Sometimes
a little meltdown too.
You just don't get the ideas when you need them.
He's like, oh shit, like, am I washed up? Is this a young man's game? Fuck, bro.
Oh man, is he just an old man? Sometimes you just wonder.
He is. Yeah, so Honto grabs the driver and gets all the way back to Shoma, but he doesn't have a Gochizo to put in it.
Which is insane because they keep fucking fighting.
Yeah, hell yeah, they do. Shoma or Honto has like I don't care. I'm fighting you because fuck you. And he starts punching him. Yeah. And obviously, I keep getting Shoma
Suga.
and Suga mixed
Yeah.
up. Yeah, Suga keeps being like, "Come with me, like I'll give you power, Hanto."
Yeah, he's honestly just kind of treating him as like a petulant child. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you're just acting up. You'll come back because it's the thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, because he's like, "You want power? I'll give you power. You're gonna come to me." And he says Hanto is the cornerstone of his perfect being, whatever the fuck that means.
Are we gonna get a payoff to that? Who
I don't know.
knows?
I hope we do. Considering that way this episode ends, I don't know if we will,
Well,
but
okay.
I want
To
to
be
know.
fair, with the way the episode ended, there was that little scene at the end where, okay, maybe we will get a payoff to it.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah, so Hanto's fighting him bare knuckled. His fists are getting all bloody, and he's basically just like, "Fuck you! Like you took my master. You're a piece of shit. You've been hurting dozens of people. I don't care if I have to be a weak human. I'm gonna fight you." And then Shoma runs and he starts helping him, and they're both naked. Well, not naked, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of the end of Civil War when Cap and Bucky are like wailing on Iron Man.
I mean, like, kind of, but also they're getting raw.
Oh yeah, they're getting rocked, but it's that same kind of just like they keep getting up.
Yeah.
Hanto does a fucking headbutt at one point. That was fucking
Dude,
cool.
that was hype. Like, holy shit. It really was the ultimate fuck you headbutt.
Yeah, literally giving himself a concussion on the helmet.
And all of this fighting inspires Shoma so much that he breaks his creator's block.
Yeah, he pushes through. He just needed to be with his boyfriend for a few minutes.
Yeah, he just needed the TLC, tender loving care of his boy Hanto, and he could finally, let it out. And
He
by
can
let
finally
it
give
out,
birth again.
yeah, by let it out, he gives birth to our good friend Frappe.
Choco frappe. I feel like this is the longest we've had a delayed Gochizo birth, right?
Yes.
From the time that he eats the food.
Yes, excellent point. Because the first time it happened, when was the?
I don't remember
time?
Cake King. Like I know he eats the cake.
It was a little delayed, but it wasn't like. Maybe okay. This is still within the same episode, so maybe the delay isn't as long as I'm thinking in my head. Because caking was a few episodes. I feel like.
Maybe. But yeah, so the Choco Frappe is born into the world. It's two, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, it's two separate entities on top of the other.
But they don't use like separate pronouns, at least in the subtitles that we got.
Right.
Like they both refer to themselves as like one being, but it's two voices.
I also
they're
think
two separate
that
pieces.
The gimmick of this Gochizo is pretty cool. Like the whole stirring mechanic, you spin the top. Like, you would do that with a frappe. That makes sense. It's cute.
I wouldn't know, but I guess so.
All right, well.
they talk too. This is the first time we've had like English speaking Gochizo, right?
Yes, like they are sentient and intelligent. I mean, all the Gochizos
are sentient. Yeah,
but this one
these
has
ones
intelligence.
have learned Japanese.
Yeah, and I guess arguably the smartest Gochizo that has been produced would be like what? Chuckhold? That seemed like it was the smartest one until now.
I mean, that one was evil. Maybe, I guess it was smart.
Intelligence is evil.
It did almost run away when they were in Dente's cave.
Right.
I guess that's smart. But yeah, so he gives Choco Frappe to Valen. He stirs it up, puts it in the rastrum gear, and we get the best suit in Gavv so far.
I'm glad we're in agreement. All right.
100%.
It looks really good. The only weird thing I think about it is the straw.
Oh, on his back?
Yeah, the straw that comes out of his back. Gives me, like that Pokemon Vanillux? It gives me those vibes.
Oh, he has a straw. Yeah. I was going to say, the only thing that's weird to me is that the rastrum gear strap, like the belt is still like that purpley blue.
Oh, yeah, no, they didn't adjust the color of the rastrum gear to match it, but...
Yeah, I feel like if Dente was going to make a rastrum gear from scrap, he could have just made it like the Valen colors.
Listen, we already knew that he was creatively challenged. He couldn't think of anything on the spot.
How to make pudding.
he was just following the schematics, he's just making it.
But yeah, Choco Frappe Valen, I love the suit. Indeed. It looks like it's like the perfect super form to like a base form. where all the elements are still there. Like you can easily recognize that it's Valen, but it's just accentuated with like gold and then like the more heavy like armor shaping.
Yeah,
It's
very
just nice.
metallic, very
Hmm.
nice metallic blend of colors, and just the way you could still see, look at it and see, oh, that's a frappe, because
I
like,
wouldn't know.
okay, well, I
To me, I was
mean,
like, it's like a milkshake or something.
yeah, you look at the design, you could still see like the cup on his chest, the whipped cream
Hmm.
forms his head. It's very a very dynamic design. I like it a lot.
There's a lot of energy to like the sculpt of his like helmet and armor and stuff with like the flying like not wings but like the flying out sharp edges to it.
Oh,
Again,
absolutely.
it's super cool. Easily my favorite suit in Gavv so far.
If we
Please
see
make a
like,
figure arts.
yeah, make a figure arts. I want to go to conventions and see. I want to see a
Mm-hmm.
frappe custom cosplayer. Like those Kamen Rider
Oh,
cosplayers go nuts. I don't know if you've like
yeah.
seen them, but
I
like you
have,
see
yeah,
like
yeah.
those TikToks. God, like they're
They go
always
hard.
disgusting.
That's a
Jesus,
dream,
it is a
but
dream. One day,
one day. He doesn't have like a new weapon or like power or anything. It's kind of similar to
yeah,
Blizzard
Blizzard
Sorbet.
Sorbet. I was a little disappointed at that, but he does pull it off really cool. I think the final hit is one of the most hype moments in the series when he
Yeah.
does the rider kick onto Suga, and then
Mhm.
like it stops Suga's leg. I'm gonna fucking blast you, and then he freezes. And then they have that animation where he's turning around and punching the frozen block of ice.
Mhm.
Like the way it's animated, the impact frame, it just felt so good.
Yeah, he doesn't have a weapon. He just kind of freezes like his arms and legs and smashes them in to Suga. And he does use the ram
He still
Valid
used the Valen
Buster.
Buster, yes, alongside a Choco gun, which is kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
he spawns the white Choco gun, but he loads in like the top of Choco Frappe into the Valen Buster, right?
Right.
And then it lets him shoot special.
Yeah, it's just like a Choco Frappe beam that blasted
Hmm.
Suga out a window.
Oh yeah, he blasts him out of the
Yeah.
building. That was cool. Cutting back to Ram,
Oh yeah.
Valen,
The
Ram,
test
Valen,
tube
Ram,
babies.
Valen, Ram. Yeah, he's fighting Bitter Gav, and they get knocked into the back room, and there's a bunch of Shomas in the big tank.
That was pretty creepy. Very unsettling.
Yeah, very unsettling. It does make sense. We need, it's cool to see where all the Bitter Gavus are coming from, I guess.
Right.
Ram is like, well, I'm going to blow that up. And Bitter Gavu is like, no, please, that's really important. And Ram doesn't care. He
Yep.
blows
He
it
just
up.
blows it up, and then there's that little baby sock in the water.
Yeah, so the room, besides the big Shoma tank, there's also like lots of baby toys
Yeah.
and like children's stuff. And he notices one little baby sock after he blows up this tank, and he's like, what the fuck? Then he
He
leaves.
doesn't know what babies are.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He has no concept of socks.
No context. Man's just walking around bare feet in his shoes. Doesn't know what a sock is.
He doesn't have any concept of a jacket with sleeves. I don't know if he knows what socks are. But yeah, so he leaves, and then we as the audience get a little preview as the camera pans up, and we see a photo of Suga holding a baby wearing that sock.
And it really gives a little bit of perspective into why he's trying to build an ultimate being that cannot die. His words,
Mm-hmm.
does not fear death.
So it's obviously, I think, has a kid, something wrong with the kid dives into research to try and make like an immortal kid, basically.
Yeah,
It doesn't excuse anything he's done.
it doesn't. And as you can clearly see, he failed. None of those children were immortal. They were all wiped
Yeah,
out
and
in
they're
one
also
ram
all
shot.
fucking Shomas.
Yeah.
So I think I wonder if this is the end of Bitter Gavu. I think so, right?
See,
I would hope so.
but then we do get that scene with Niel.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
we should jump back to
we'll jump
yeah,
back.
yeah.
We'll jump back.
So yeah. So Valen destroys Suga. He's out. He says like, I'm the weak human. Whatever. I'm gonna kill you. And Suga fucking explodes.
Yeah, he does.
And then we see Shoma carrying Hanto on his
Oh
back.
man,
It's very slice of life anime, very romance anime.
this ship ain't a rowboat; it's a cruise ship.
Yeah, the ship is going strong. Like we're reaching Taro and
Oh,
what the fuck
Tara
was
and
the Blue Noto?
Sono,
So Sonoi?
Sonoi, yes.
Yeah, we're reaching Taro Sonoi levels of gay baiting.
Oh man, it's totally. And then the way he feeds him the gummy.
That I was blown away.
Oh god.
So we see him grab the bag of gummies before he leaves Dente.
Yes.
Yeah, Hanto's being carried piggyback to Shoma, and Shoma's stomach growls. And I was like, oh, he's gonna hand him the bag of gummies. No,
He just feeds
he
him.
fucking puts his fingers into Shoma's mouth to put the gummy in.
And Shoma's like, oh.
Yeah, Shoma blushes so hard he drops Hanto on the floor.
It was a cute moment.
It was very cute. I know that they're never gonna do anything with this, but I feel like it's intentionally baiting at this point.
I mean, you gotta get women into the fandom somehow.
It's true, you know. Here it is.
Here it is.
Here's the way.
This is the way.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm a fan. I like it.
Yeah, I like Shanto. Shanto or Shonto? Which way do you think?
I think. Oh man.
Shonto is more balanced.
Yeah,
but
Shanto sounds better.
Yeah. Let us know what the official. I'm sure like the official ship name is neither. But I like them together, even if it is just like an intimate friendship. I think their relationship has been built up really strong throughout the show.
It really has.
More than any of the other ones, I would say.
I mean, to be fair, Hanto did confess to Sean. He's like, listen, despite everything,
oh my god,
I like you.
I like you.
Oh. This is the shit God. I live for and the shit I'll die for.
It was a straight up confession.
It was. Very cute. God.
Oh my god.
This is like the Shanto scene. Everybody will reference this.
It's true. This is going to be in every single edit for this ship till the end of time.
Oh god. And I thrive on that. I'm going to You make an edit, send us the link, I will watch the fuck out of it.
Yeah, TikTok algorithm. Where's my fucking Shanto reel?
That's what I'm saying.
There's that cute scene and then that wraps up and then we see Suga leaning against the wall. He's battered, bloody, covered in like smoke and dirt. And he thinks about the photo with his baby. And he's like, I guess humans are weak after all, huh?
Yeah, real fragile.
Mm-hmm. And then we get little Mr. Nyelv is like, don't worry, I'll pick it up from here. And he pushes his glasses.
Yeah, he's got the all according to Keikaku glasses push.
Yup. So this seems like it's the end of a few things, like Bitter Gavv, Suga, just like that whole plot line. So maybe before we jump into 29, we can just talk about how this wrapped up or how we feel about it.
Yeah, at least in terms of how it wrapped up. I do think Bitter Gav's gonna come back, primarily because he was just kind of like their go-to small enemy, you know, like their mini boss. And I feel like Nyelv's going to capitalize on that.
But do we need that when the minions are stronger than Bitter Gavv?
You know, that's an excellent point.
Longo's minions kept Shoma busier than Bitter Gavv ever did.
That is an excellent point. Like, why are these minions so goddamn strong?
Yeah, the minions are the strongest mook in the series by far. They're better than the part-timers. They're better than the Bitter Gavvs.
And the part-timers are like the monsters of the week.
Yeah, and as we see in 29, we got like a whole new faction basically coming in.
Oh, that's true.
Personally, I arrow more towards this is the end for Bitter Gavv.
Okay.
Maybe I could be wrong.
If he does come back, then he's going to come back new and improved, likely. Maybe Bitter Gavv gets a new form as a result of Nyelv's research. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know, considering, I mean, is it safe to say we're reaching like the end game of Gavv? Or what? We're almost at 30 out of probably 49 or 48.
They generally confirm the number of episodes on release, so a quick search will tell us. Let's see. The projected number of episodes, TBA. No. I guess they haven't locked it in yet. Well, I mean...
Interesting. Lock the fuck in.
Yeah, please lock the fuck in. But at least for the series I've been watching as of late, they've been sitting on like 48, 49. So we are already more than halfway through with a new faction being introduced. They will likely be the big bad for another 10, 15 episodes. And then because Tokusatsu likes doing this, I generally hate this trope, but they'll introduce a new big bad at the very end that will be the ultimate big bad.
Interesting. We can get into that after 29 because I think I have some thoughts about that. But as far as the Suga stuff, obviously at the end of last episode in 27, blew my mind. 27 is so good, and it set up Suga to be so interesting.
Right. Like, he's been the best villain that
He
we've
was the
had.
best villain in the show by far.
Yeah.
And I was super invested and interested to see where this was going. And I gotta say, as good as 28 was, I'm pretty let down that it's over.
Yeah, like, I feel like they did his arc a little dirty at the end there.
I feel like all of this could have happened without Suga getting killed. I mean, obviously we
100%.
don't know if he's dead, but at this point, like, he's basically out of the story as far as we can see.
Right.
Unless he's gonna come back at the very end, but I feel like that's such a waste. I feel like what we're doing now, so after this, as you'll see, we're gonna go back to the fucking family, and they're introducing a new faction to that family, and like, sure, but Suga was the first villain that the show had where I felt that he was a threat. I knew he had goals that he wanted to accomplish besides just making Granute money.
Right.
He was interesting and he compelled me, and there was a lot of questions I had at the end of the last episode that were, I mean, basically answered. But so in the first episode of our podcast, I talked about how I've been kind of let down by Gavv, and this is something I thought a lot about because I felt bad for saying that, because immediately after we started the podcast, I feel like the episodes picked up again.
Yeah.
And then 28 happened, and it felt like I was right back at the beginning of the podcast where I was like, oh, like, it'll set up things that I want, and then the payoff will be good enough, but it won't like excite me. It won't thrill me.
Listen, you've just got
Yeah.
a little bit of PTSD from how the series started. I'm sure that with the level of writing we've had with Suga's arc, there's good things to come. I'm sure of it. I believe in what the writers of the show have presented thus far, and I believe that they can execute.
I really hope, because so far we've had that family for like at least 20 episodes were focused on his family, and I don't give a shit about them. Like, they're not
Yeah.
intimidating, they're not interesting, they don't feel like a very big threat. Like, all they've really done is sit at a table or like walk. There was that one scene where Lango was walking around and he passed Shoma in the street or something.
Right.
I feel like now it's do or die for this whole family storyline. Like, if they want to go all in on Granute's being like the final big bad, then they need to start doing something with this family.
You
Like,
know,
make them interesting.
I
And I
feel
hope
like,
that's where we're going.
yeah, I feel like it's definitely where we're going because as of right now, the only one who has been actively doing things and actually seems like a threat is Nyelv because he's actually
Yeah.
like in the shadows. He's actively like being creepy and sneaky, and like you got Longo and oh Jesus, what's her name?
I don't remember the sister.
Yeah, but like they're just doing their usual drug dealer shenanigans. But with this next episode, I feel like they're going to be building up to something interesting. I'll go over what my theory is towards the end of after we talk about it, but I'm looking forward to the new family arc, we're going to call it.
Yeah, and before any of this, I just want to say, like, I love 28. 28's a good episode of Gavv. It's just that the potential that I felt after 27 getting wrapped up so immediately just kind of crushed not my interest in the show, but like my hype for it,
Yeah, no,
going
this
into
past
like
set of
these batch
episodes
of
was
episodes.
insane.
Yeah, I was ready for Gavv. I watched Gavv first before even Gozyuger because I was like, I gotta know what's going on. And to see like everything just neatly wrapped up, like one episode, like the very next episode, every single thing that I was interested in from 27 just got wrapped up immediately. And it just left me feeling kind of like, oh, okay.
A little bit of
Which
tease.
leads us into 29. Where
Our
things are okay.
boy got married off.
Oh, well, I was going to talk about the time skip first, but that is true.
Well, I mean, that happened at the very end. Well, it happened during, was it the preview episode, I guess? The preview episode.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I had at the very end of this episode as a note.
It does happen soon. So, yeah, but we get a little 1 month time skip. It's like a montage of stuff happening. Looks like the same old.
Yeah, Shoma gets to try a whole bunch of different foods. They're just
helping people, eating snacks, fighting Granutes. I'm not sure why we have a 1 month time jump, but I don't, it doesn't hurt anything so far.
I mean, I feel like it was a little unnecessary. I mean, maybe it's because, like we discussed, this is episode 29. We're already over halfway through, they don't feel like they have time to kind of elaborate on what happens in that month, which is fine, I guess.
Maybe it's just because Hanto was so fucked up
Yeah.
that they're like, we need an excuse. But you could have just done like a week or something. I don't know.
A month does feel like a long time.
It feels like a long time and not much happens. Like they don't do much with the time that they skip.
Right.
Like normally you do a time skip so you can progress stuff like off camera or off screen. But I mean, the only thing that happened in the month that was important was that Jeeb went back to Granute World and then got married.
Yeah. Did popcorn happen in that month too? I guess it
Yeah,
all
he
just
ate
kind of blurred.
or was that the very beginning after the time skip? I don't know. At some point,
yeah.
Shoma ate popcorn. It's going to be important because of how shitty it is. But yeah, so the big payoff to Jeev, grabbing his sister's doll, hiding in the human world, exiled from the family. The big payoff for that was that he just goes back to Granute World.
Yeah, I mean, kind of disappointing. I was hoping we would get more out of like, oh, I'm gonna hunt down Akagavv, and just no.
No, just he was just around in the human world for some amount of time, and then he went back to Granute World, and he was like on the streets for some amount of time. I don't know. Again, this is what I'm saying with the family storyline. Like, you have moments where you can make me interested, but then I feel like they just dropped the ball.
I do think that this is just kind of a sign of they had a previous story beat in mind, and then with the way the writing was going, they were like, oh, no, we got to drop that. Let's do something else. And then they did.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, they are spinning a lot of plates. Like, there were a lot of storylines going for a few months now.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and now everything's kind of been tidied up.
Right. What was it? In the last few episodes, they had those episodes that felt like they stopped in the middle of, like, important moments. Or, like, there would be so many A plots and B plots happening that, we would be interrupted and end up on, like, another story beat while something else is going on. It is kind of unorganized and chaotic in that sense. So returning to this kind of like single storyline beat is a nice breather, I guess. But at the same time, everything was so hype, and now things are slowing down again.
Maybe this whole time skip was just to reset.
Yeah, that's
the position of everything. Just get everyone back on the same page. We got the A plot, we got the B plot, like the Gavvs and the family.
Right.
Because that's kind of where we're set back to.
Except
we're not. Because immediately a new C plot family is introduced.
It's okay. C plot and B plot will be combined, I'm sure.
No, I know. I'm just joking. But yeah, Jeep came back and he secretly got married to a random girl who was on the street.
She crazy.
She's fucking crazy. And she's also the president's daughter.
The president's daughter.
Shout out to My Date with the President's Daughter, starring Will Friedle.
Oh my god. Not a reference that I thought I'd hear in this day and age.
That's one of my, like at least top 15 DComs of all time. Maybe we should do a DCom podcast.
We'll save it for Patreon.
I've thought about that. Anyway. Yeah, so I keep saying Yaso instead of and I don't know which is worse, but they're both going to get cut out.
Nice. Just the way we should.
Just like our foreskin. So Jeev has a new wife that's the daughter of the president of Granute Worldia, as I'm going to call it until they give it a country or planet name.
They won't.
They won't. It's about as much world building as they put into the Granute World.
I mean, it does look like King Ogerland.
It is King Ogerland. I don't even remember the country, Gira's country.
Chikyu. It was called Chikyu, which is just Earth, which was a plot point.
But his country, his specific country.
Oh.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, we'll skip this.
Okay, so they're all on this. He's the president of the set of King Oger. And he looks like Cthulhu. He's all white. He's got like a skull inside a tentacle bubble.
I think his design's kind of cool. It's neat.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know. He's a monster.
He's a little squid boy.
He's got the same thing the family does where he's like just a monster head on like a suit.
I am a little curious because it was a plot point in this episode that, the stomach family were the only people using the human disguises.
Yeah.
So I am kind of curious to see who they cast for his human actor.
Do you think he'll even get one?
I feel like it'd be disappointing if he didn't.
I personally, I don't think we're gonna get one for him because I don't see, even if he goes to like Earth, I feel like he would go to fight Shoma or something. Like I can't
Hmm.
see him just wanting to walk around and like blend in.
That's a fair
Maybe I'm
point.
wrong.
I mean, like the way they presented this new girl, Lizelle,
Mm-hmm.
she was curious enough about the world where she did put on the human disguise. You know,
Yeah.
very who I will say, by the way, plays her
Mm-hmm.
part very well. She is appropriately creepy.
She is
She's
very fucking scary.
she's got that yandere smile.
She's got that wide ass smile, bro.
Well,
I'm I do not like her.
like
I
those
mean, she's
corners could
great,
stab
but I
you in
don't
the
like
eye
her.
kind of smile.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. I don't like looking at her. She creeps me out. Wonderful job.
Wonderful job. But yeah, our new insane girl, Lizelle,
She's married
dated
to Jeeb.
Jeeb.
They have a weird relationship.
Weird little dynamic. She seems very protective of it.
Yeah, already. I mean, maybe that's why we had the month, just so it wouldn't balk at them being like so close.
That is
Because like,
also an
I guess we
excellent
don't
point.
know when they met. I
Yeah,
don't know.
because in the episode they kind of break it down as Jeep saying, "Yeah, I returned to the granny world. I didn't want to go back to the stomach family." And, he's just sitting at some boxes and she's like, "Oh, you're cute."
Not even. She was like, "Oh, that doll. Give me
Yeah,
that.
that doll is cute.
This is all I have of my sister." What? I'm the president's daughter. Give me the doll.
Give me the doll. And he's like, "Wait, no, let me tell you about the magical story behind this doll." And he got her. He got her real
He
good.
got her good. This is Jeeb's revenge, basically. He spills all of Stomach Inc.'s secrets about the human world, about what's in dark treats, about their human disguises. All of that, he spills it to the president's daughter, who I assume spills it to the president.
Yep.
So further on, it further shows that Stomach Inc.'s real shady, even in Granute World.
They are literally just like the black market dealers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just drug dealers. They're the cartel.
As we see from this episode, I don't think they're run by a good person either. I think the president's pretty bad himself. But it does just go to show that the majority of Granutians have no idea what's going on. Like
Absolutely
this is
not.
all closely kept stomach secrets, and that's why Longo and the sister are fucking pissed.
They were surprised when Liz showed up in her human disguise, and she's like, "What the fuck, you guys? GB found a fucking human? What is
Yeah,
this?"
that's true. And they immediately, like after the president and his daughter leave, they go to Nyelv, and they're like, "Why'd you give her the human suit?" And he was like, "The president's daughter asked me to make it. Like, what am I gonna say no?" Which again is
Yeah.
like it makes total sense. I also wonder if it's a cover because I think Nyelv is Nyelv is sussy. Like we know this.
Right. And I think at this point, this kind of creates a rift in the family dynamic. Longo is kind of onto, he at least gives the vibe that he's onto Niel's shenanigans. So, my theory here, part of this family arc is going to be like a Civil War kind of deal where the family's going to turn on each other, and that'll be their C plot while Shoma, Hanto, and Lakia are fighting our new big bads, the president and the president's daughter. Family
Mr.
and fighting
President.
is going to happen.
Oh, interesting. So I was more thinking like, obviously the family's going to work together to get rid of the president because they don't like him intruding on their business.
Ooh, there is that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the president and his daughter will be like the big bads for like the next 10 episodes or whatever. But I think we're not slowly, but I think it's been pretty seeded for a while now that I think Nyelv is going to be the final big bad.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think we're going to deal with the president, and then maybe we're going to have a big blowout with Lango. And then when everything seems like everything's fine and the battle's finally won, Niel's master plan is like locked in place. And then
Boom.
they'll have
He's
to
been
figure out how
working
to
on
stop him.
he's been working on Suga's ultimate being the whole time. Oh shit.
Yeah, he's gonna make Ultra Suga.
Ultra Suga? No, it's gonna
Suga comes back as the final villain.
it's gonna be baby Suga. Sokka's gonna come back.
It's a giant baby made of candy.
Candy. No, made of dark trees. It's just a giant gummy baby.
Oh, oh wait, I think in England they have a candy called Jelly Babies.
Are
That
those
are like
not
gummy
just
babies.
jelly beans? I thought
No, because I think in England they call it like gummy jelly. So I think they're like little gummy babies.
Oh, they are. Oh,
Yeah.
that's unsettling. All right. I don't like that.
It'd probably make a better gochizo than popcorn. So
Yeah,
speaking
honestly.
of, jumping back to Shoma for a second, we have a scene with him and Hanto where Hanto's like, "Do you remember your mom's name? Like, I can probably Google her. What if like her parents are still alive?" And Shoma writes down her name. He learned how to write. He learned how to read kanji apparently by his mom.
Yeah, kind of
And
crazy.
but he does tell Hanto like he's not ready to meet family if there exist. Which is fair. I
Yeah,
mean,
which
he's
is
a
fair.
half monster child of a woman who was kidnapped.
Yeah, and honestly, like discovering you have possibly estranged family, I get it. Like people you don't know suddenly calling themselves your
Yeah.
family and being in your life, it doesn't feel good. Personally
Right.
speaking.
It's like meeting your parents after you got adopted.
Right.
But Hanto obviously is like, well, maybe one day I'll want to know. So he starts researching her anyway.
Yeah,
Which is good.
I mean, it does add an interesting plot point to the story that gives them another
Mhm.
angle they could work. Like, oh,
These boys and messing with each other's moms, they just can't stop.
messing with each other. Why? Why would you say that?
But yeah, I feel like I don't know, like we haven't really seen Hanto get to do any kind of like journalism.
That's
In
true.
maybe
It's
like
been a while.
27 episodes.
I mean, he's been emotionally compromised.
And you know, he became a writer, and then that was his big priority.
And then him
But
becoming a writer
still,
got his boss killed. I'm sure there's some PTSD related to doing journalism now.
I'm sure, but he has to be doing something because he pays for like Shoma's food and stuff.
That is an excellent point. He also paid for that
Yeah,
one dude that betrayed him.
that's also true. Yeah, but yeah. So during this scene, he's paying for Shoma to have these choco frappes, so he can just keep popping out, giving birth right at the table.
He's literally paying for ammunition. Shoma is his arms
Pretty
dealer.
much. And Shoma, I guess, can just drink fucking like 3 frappes in a row without feeling anything.
He's granite. He's built different.
Oh, speaking of Granute, Hanto goes on like a little amends tour to like the to the new Granutes who are his allies. He
Indeed.
gives Dente some cookies, and Dente is very happy but doesn't eat them because he doesn't have an opening mouth.
Yeah.
And then he gets like this tray of like rocks
Yep.
for Lakia. Lakia, by the way, had taken over Suga's little lab.
Yeah, he's
I guess
living
that's
there
where he
now.
lives now. It's like the bit from the history of the world. It's like that's just where he lives now.
Yeah.
But he gives him the rocks, and I was like, oh, okay. So like Shoma told him that Grenadier rocks, and these are like good rocks. So then Lackey opens it up and eats it, and Valen's like, what the fuck? I had to get like, do you know how hard it was to get good rocks? And then
He's
Shoma's
like, yeah, they're
"Really?"
fucking delicious.
So like Shoma told him like, oh, Lakia likes rocks, like get him really good rocks.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell him that he eats the rock.
No, that was a moot point.
Does Shoma know that they eat rocks?
Oh, that is an excellent question as well. I mean, like when he was stuck in the castle, all he ate was gruel, right?
Yeah, they were eating like weird gray food. But
Maybe he
I mean,
doesn't know that they eat rocks.
But how would he know that he likes rocks if he doesn't know that he eats rocks?
That is. I mean, okay, they did have the scene in back with our boy Helmet Man, or Helmet Boy, where he's eating rocks.
Was he eating rocks?
That was in the flashback. No, that was in the flashback.
I don't know. I remember him eating pudding.
Yeah, no, he definitely eats pudding.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the flashback where he's eating rocks with his brother.
Como.
Yeah.
Yeah, he breaks the rock in half, and
Yeah, instead of breaking bread, we're breaking rocks.
This is what you come to the podcast for.
Rock
Minutes
lore.
of theorizing about something inconsequential.
You know what? That's fine. That's also something Honto needed to know.
That's true. Hanto needed to chill out and have fun. Just like I do. We also see Ram and the new president and his daughter get added to the intro sequence.
Oh, yeah. Those are really cool. Like, we had our skipped opening the episode before. And this episode, we have our new characters into the opening. It's also always really cool to see, like, new additions to the opening.
Yeah, I guess I'm more used to, like, in Sentai, like, when the 6th Ranger joins, they usually add them somehow to the opening.
Yeah, kind of like instead of adding new frames, they just, like, pull the camera back and, they were there the whole time.
Yeah, or in the case of Jiro from Dawn Brothers, they just put him on top of the camera.
Oh God!
Like there's that scene where they're all dancing and they just put him on the ceiling.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
true.
yeah. So I wasn't expecting to get an update to the intro. It's cute. It's fine.
It did its
I
job.
don't really have anything to say about it other than that it happened. We
Neat.
found out Lakia's last name. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm not talking about anything. They get the phone. Happy Potty gets a phone call to go play basketball.
Oh yeah, the sports episode of this series,
Yeah, the actual plot of the episode that I just completely disregarded.
because it was very B plottish.
I always felt like C. I feel like the president's daughter was like A, the family was B, and then this was like C.
Yeah,
So they go
fair.
play basketball. They can't help but be fucking granoots about it. Like they're doing crazy flips and throwing the ball across the
Oh
court.
man, the flip that they had Lakia do was egregious. Holy shit, it was ugly.
We had some rough green screens in these batch of episodes. I'll say that.
It did look significantly worse than Space Jam.
No, come on now. Come on.
I'll
now.
stand by that statement.
No, that's someone who hasn't seen Space Jam in a long time. That shit is bad.
No, there's no way Space Jam is worse than this.
Space Jam. Check out next episode where we review Space Jam.
And Decom.
But not 2. I tried to watch the new one. I fell asleep every time.
Yeah, so let's not do that. Space Jam 2, the best sleep aid.
Space Jam 2, Electric Boogaloo. Speaking of Space Jam, they win the basketball game, obviously.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Even though they kind of cheated, Shoma shooting 3-pointers from
They
across
100% cheated.
across the court. Like, literally have 2 non-humans on your team.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of non-humans, there's a Granoot in the audience.
Yeah,
just he pulls up his he pulls up his eye Granoot and he looks at Lakia's bounty and he's like, "Oh, that's Lakia."
Yeah, dude,
he doesn't really do anything about berries. It. That's not that much.
It's not.
He doesn't go for it though. I think he's more like scared of him.
Yes, because
he's not trying to get the bounty.
Man's just trying to live his life, understandably so. You wouldn't want to fuck with the guy that's killed all your other coworkers, right?
I guess so, but he's also not a good person. He's stealing humans to get drugs.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the drug dealing way. He's just doing his thing.
Mm-hmm. Through the bounty, we learn Lakia's last name is Amalga. Will it matter? Doubt it. There it is.
There it is. Lakia Amalga.
Lakia Amalga. We also, and the president's name, I didn't mention it before. Is it Baka or Buka? Is Bocca or Booca? I can't read my own writing.
Bocca. Baka.
Okay, it's Boca. Boca Raton, Florida, the president of Granoot World. So they win the game. They go home, and then Shoma notices he has one of the towels from his teammates in his bag.
Oh yeah, and then they call the manager, I guess you could call.
They call like his workplace because they can't get a hold of him on his cell.
It's like, hey, is he back? It's like, now that you mention it, he isn't back because people just go missing.
Yeah, she's not mad at all about having to cover his shift. Like working 16 hours is a nightmare. I call me and be like, yeah, that fucker didn't even call out. I'm trying to get a hold of someone to back me up.
Yeah, I'd be pissed. Honestly, she took it really well.
It's that Japanese hospitality, I bet.
Ooh.
So they immediately run back to the basketball stadium gym, and the Granoot guy's like, oh, shit.
It's like, why'd you come back?
Yeah. Then he turns into his baboon form.
And he's real fast.
Monkey.
For some reason.
He's real fast. He can jump up and down real quick. He's a big monkey. I like this one. I don't know if I'll remember him, but I like it.
It was an interesting design. A little monkey with little rock pants.
Yeah, I am a fan of monkeys in general, so I probably have an affinity for this monster.
Honestly, I think in general monkey designs are just really easy to do. I think you could really go wrong with them.
Yeah, so he's jumping around this green screen forest on all the trees, and Shoma uses his new Gozyuger popcorn,
and he literally jizzes popcorn everywhere.
It's not a form. It just makes him into a popcorn popper. He's just spewing out popcorn, and then it explodes eventually, right? Or does it explode when he touched it?
Yeah, it was like a proximity thing where it's like when he touched it, they went boom.
Yeah, so he sprayed his load all over the bottom of the tree, and then when the monkey was coming down, it got exploded.
I do think it's interesting that when he put the Gochizo in, it did mention like popcorn burning. So
Hmm.
likely they're gonna build on it. He probably just didn't use it right. Maybe it's something that's like, whenever he loads a Gochizo into a sword, it never really does anything. Maybe this one will do something.
I, for the life of me, I'll never understand what the little Gochizo race car is supposed to do.
It's supposed to be cute.
They make a big deal out of it every time he does it, and then it just like smacks the monster and like doesn't hit them hard.
Yeah. But maybe popcorn will do something.
I maybe. I mean, as it stands right now, I'd put popcorn as like the worst Gochizo.
Easily. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. When we didn't even get to see fucking Senbei, and I bet he's a million billion times better than popcorn.
You're right.
You know,
Maybe one day he'll come out of Shoma's tummy. One day.
I doubt it. At this point, I doubt
I
it.
mean, senbei is an iconic Japanese snack. There's no way they wouldn't have a senbei for him.
I don't know. Is senbei better than ice cream? How can you? I feel like Gavv can't have any more like lateral forms. It's all going to be about up now.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you seen the scans for his final form yet?
No, sir. I'm going
I
in
see.
blind.
Okay, then I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna let that happen. I'm not gonna talk about it.
I can't wait. You make me so excited to experience it.
I wonder what you'll think. I don't even know what I think yet.
Okay. Maybe it's one of those things where maybe you'll feel different about it in movement too.
Maybe I don't. I'll say right now, like from what I've seen, I'm not like what the fuck. Like I'm just kind of like oh. So I don't know.
Very interesting.
Yeah, the monkey explodes, and then the president's daughter,
The
Lizelle, is here
president's daughter.
with what do you call it? Secret Service.
Yep. Is that where the
And she's like,
episode
"This
ends?
looks like fun.
Yeah.
Like I want to join." And then the episode ends.
Yep.
Yeah, like I mean, like we said, 28 was like the big blow off. This is kind of like a reset, introduction to the new like stakes.
Yep. It's kind of
I don't
just
know.
like a new status quo.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about it. So where I see this going is like we deal with the president, then we deal with Lango, and then Nielv is the real villain. I could also see it like we deal with the president, and then Lango just becomes the final boss because he's been set up. He's not been set up. He's been presented as like the big threat for so long
I mean, his minions are like the strongest. His minions are the ones that are like
that
fucking
can beat
everybody.
Kaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just. I mean, again, where I'm at with the family, like he hasn't done anything interesting. He's been positioned to be like the big threat for almost the entire show, but he's never really done anything.
Right.
So I hope that it's a swerve and Nielv is actually the final boss. But I mean, there's plenty of Toku where the final boss is just like the big guy they beat up. Like it doesn't have to be interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I was mentioning earlier too. With most Tokusatsu, you'll have
Mm-hmm.
a few major arcs, and then they'll introduce a new big bad at the end. That is like the ultimate big bad. It's happened in quite a few of the shows that I've watched recently. I recently finished Q Ranger, and it
Mm-hmm.
was that was like, oh, they've had one big bad throughout the entire show, and then at the very end of the series, it's kind of like they don't quite introduce like a new big bad, but they essentially give the big bad like an unneeded, unnecessary like twist. I don't enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of this
No,
trope.
I mean it's like Gokaiger, where the actual emperor of the Zangiak fleet or whatever shows
Yeah,
up right at the end, and then they fight him, and it's like, who cares about this guy?
yeah. When we've had super cool incompetent man at the helm for so long.
Mm-hmm. Although I mean, in that case, I don't know if he would have been a better final
Yeah,
boss,
zero
but
percent chance he would have been better, but
at least he was established.
that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about 29 because I feel like nothing really happened. Like they set up the new president and his daughter.
It
She's creepy.
was
He's fine.
Yeah, it was an introduction episode at its middest.
I guess maybe this. I was saying earlier, is this the end game? I guess maybe this is where we denote like the mid season, right?
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
Everything before just got wrapped up, and then we're introduced to new stuff from here on out.
So, there will be more to see, but how much more with 20-ish episodes? Eh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, yeah. Maybe like 20. Hold on. So we're 29. So 1 to 30. Maybe 19 episodes. Maybe 18.
yeah, 1918.
That's crazy.
Some series do get the magical 50th episode. So, We'll see.
I think the last writer with 50 was Revice, right?
Yes, and honestly, they could have condensed it down a few episodes. There were a few episodes at the end they didn't need, but I still think Revice is one of my favorite writer series, and
Whoa, like of all of them?
Yeah, I would put Revice in my top 5 for sure.
Whoa.
But in general, I do think it could have ended better. The pacing at the end was a little weird, but I also don't have entirely high expectations for a lot of the writing in a lot of Tokusatsu shows. So yeah, that's not really a bad mark on Revice. It's more just my taste.
Right. I think also, I just want to say, because I feel like I'm being really negative about Gavv. I think part of that is because we're talking about it in between everything that's going on. You know, a lot of the other Tokusatsu we've seen, like we'll talk about it, but it's usually like talking about a big moment, like when I reach it and I'm like, look, this part was cool, or like after everything's over.
Right.
Like even when we were both watching Geats, at most it'd be like a sentence to each other after every episode. We're like, oh, well, that was sick.
Yeah.
And the distance from watching it helps kind of smooth the edges. Like Geats isn't perfect. Like there's parts of Geats that in retrospect I don't like as much, but they, in my mind when I think of Geats, they don't stick out like crazy.
Yeah, there were definitely several hype moments that kind of overshadow those, I guess, low points, we would call them.
Right. So I think, like, even though I'm kind of down on Gavv right now, I think with time and with distance, like, it's definitely not bad. Like, it's not a bad show at all. I want to stress that. Like, I'm not here being like, Gavv is the worst Kamen Rider in ever.
No,
Here's
because that was Gotchard.
Reasons why. Oh. No. Oh, no. I'm sure there's some Kamen Rider out there that's worse than Gotchard. People like a few people like Gotchard.
Man had to catch himself. Holy shit.
You know, it's
okay. I mean, like, I'm gonna get to a point where I feel like I'm gonna watch every series at some point. It's just on the 1-day list for me.
Yeah, I mean, you're much closer than I am. I feel like you're like, well, you've seen almost all of, what have you not seen in Reiwa yet?
The only thing I haven't seen in Reiwa is Gotchard.
Gotchard. Oh, yeah. Shit.
I've seen all the other Reiwa series. I haven't seen maybe like, let's say half of Heisei.
Heisei?
Yeah. And then 0% of Showa, because, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's old.
It is old. I do want to watch Kamen Rider Black at some point, because I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Ooh. Watch along?
Even though I know it's... Welcome to our Kamen Rider Black review podcast. But it's also the only Kamen Rider with like a direct sequel, or at least
Black RX.
Say that.
No, that's from what I know, RX isn't a sequel. I don't know how much into it you want to get. I can probably explain it later, but no, it is not a sequel.
Oh, I don't remember. I used to like. I'm gonna reveal something about myself. I used to watch like a bunch of like Tokusatsu like YouTube video theories or whatever essays.
Oh.
And from what I remember, I thought it was connected, but maybe I'm misremembering.
I think they're tangentially connected. I don't think they're direct to each other. And this also kind of shows the level of understanding I have for like Showa. But for what I understand of Black and Black RX, they're like parallel dimension situations.
What?
Not quite connected, but they are about like the same MC but in different situations, question mark.
Whoa.
Because even when they were featured in Decade, they had like a moment where it's like, oh, this is Black and this is Black RX. They're two different people, but they're played by the same actor.
What the fuck? Everything you tell me about Decade makes me more confused.
Yeah, that's fair. Don't worry about it.
I guess that's everything we have to say about Gavv, because we haven't talked about Gavv in like 5 minutes.
But yeah, let's segment change.
Gozyuger.
Gozyuger.
We open with our little boy Horu trying to live his little life on the Tegasaur.
Yeah, man's straight homeless.
He is homeless, but he's also homesteading. Like he's planting and he's trying to grow his own food. He's living like the simple life. I think I'm proud of him. This is a good moment.
Honestly, this is
It's
probably
ruined. It's ruined by Yellow being so annoying.
No, I think this scene is comedy gold. you got your man Hood casually just trying to live his life. He's made his home on Tegasword, and our boy Tyranno is like,
he is not my boy.
My God, why are you just trying to live life on my God? Get off. Like, okay, it's like, think about it like this. It's like a homeless dude is just living in the church, and the priest walks in, and the priest is kind of like, okay, listen.
Don't get me started on that. I have some opinions about the church. Let me tell you.
This is just an example.
No, I know what you mean. It's just he was just living his little life, and then Yellow had to be an asshole.
It was kind of cute because Hood is just kind of like, hey, listen, I'm just trying to do my thing here. I'm doing my best. And then
I don't have a job.
Yeah. And Yellow's like, get the hell off of, I'm gonna throw a fucking car at you.
And everyone on the street sees him like lift the car.
Yeah, and the Hood is like, well, shit, I guess I gotta get off this fucking thing.
I guess there's no secret identities, or at least then people know that there's super strength in the world.
I guess so.
They both go inside the little cafe.
He gets dragged into the cafe, and we're like,
okay, that's fair. They get in the cafe, and who's on the TV but Tokusatsu, or not Momotaro?
He got impeached.
He had to step his ass down. Because apparently having a Sentai ring breaks the fucking war treaty or something, the weapons treaty.
Which is insane to me. That's
crazy.
Apparently everybody in the world knows about these Sentai rings and about how it's crazy weaponry.
Yeah, the United States sent a fucking letter to Japan saying, give us the ring. So they had to have Tokusatsu step down.
Oh,
but don't worry, he may be stepping down from politics, but he's got a new job in destroying the world.
Yeah, terrorism. It's funny because Unicorn just casually commented, it's like, oh, he went from being a politician to being a terrorist. Just super casually.
Now, we can imply that all politicians are terrorists, but I don't think we're ready for this conversation.
Politics and religion in the same episode? That's crazy.
Damn, bro. We're out here. They're tackling real topics in Tokusatsu.
They are.
Yeah, so Tokusatsu's joined up with I think they're called the Brydons.
Brydon, I think, is what what their title is. I mean, they're just the No One world, right? Like that's just.
Well, I think the Brydons and the No Ones are separate. I mean, they live in that flashback that you're talking about. There it is their castle, I think. In the
they live in the No One world.
So maybe like Brydon is just like that organization then.
Maybe. Huh.
Food for thought.
Food for thought.
Anyway, Tokusatsu doesn't know any of this shit. He's joined up with them, and he's agreed to help them to get all the rings and murder everyone.
Yeah, it's like, give me your goddamn rings.
Yeah, he sends him a little map. He's like, come to my treasure palace and give me your rings or I will fucking murder you.
See, and I think this is an interesting thing that I didn't quite realize before, but apparently each Sentai ring has its own power.
Right.
And I guess Bokenger just can
ring.
spawn a goddamn fucking building.
Yeah, the Bokenger ring can build, I think, because he uses it to build walls in the building too.
Right. So that's interesting.
I don't know much about Bokenger.
Neither do I. One of the Sentai series that neither of us have watched.
Ooh.
But apparently, based upon what I know of their mechs, their
their mech is called Build King, I think.
Yeah, so it makes sense lore-wise for them. I just, it didn't conceptualize in my brain that was what power that Sentai ring would provide until he spawned a goddamn building.
Yeah, it's a little weird that the Jetman ring gives you or Jetman ring
Yep.
gives you wings.
Yeah, that checks out.
And then the Bokenger ring lets you build whatever you want.
Yeah, no, it was a little a little bit of a power imbalance. But yeah, he builds his castle, and they're like, "All right, well, I guess we got to go to this goddamn castle to get his ring."
Yeah, he builds his castle full of children's games that they must play.
They've played these
It
games
is Squid
before.
Game. Yeah, it's Squid Game.
I do think it's interesting how, like, for tags, like, what is it? Falcon goes in and he uses power to fly in, tag everybody.
Mhm.
Then they play dodgeball, and Tyranno's like, "Oh, this is my fucking game." He fucking demolishes one of the
Yeah,
bellboys.
he smashes the bellboy into the fucking concrete wall.
Yeah, and the rest of them were
And
like,
all
"You
the
know
other ones
what?
just surrender.
I'm good. I'm good. I ain't
Like,
about
no,
that."
thanks. Yeah, like, oh, I'm sorry. But then the final game,
Oh god.
the final game is playing house.
Oh god.
Am I the only one who got flashbacks to that episode of Dawn Brothers where they pretend to be a family?
You're not the only one, but it
Okay,
wasn't
good.
nearly as good.
Well, it wasn't as funny. I'll say that.
It was weird.
It was a little weird. Hoiru struggles. He can't really do it.
I will say that Tyranno as the mom fit a little too well.
A little too well. That's a man who knows his mom. Like,
Yeah.
in and out. Oh, I put down the castle's kind of like Legends of the Hidden Temple, that Nickelodeon game show.
Another thing that I didn't think I'd be hearing in today's age, Legends of the Hidden Temple. Just,
Legends of the Hidden Temple. We got Tegasword as Olmec.
ooh, Tegamic.
Tegamek. Fire Candle wants Bouquet to rebuild his robot, but she's too obsessed with Rikuo.
I also wrote that down.
So he just goes down to the castle by himself.
Yeah, he's just pissed.
With a bunch of bells. Yeah, he's like, "Come on out of here, Gozyugers, I'll fucking kill you."
And then what is the bell we got this episode? Dengis?
It's Denjus something. I'm not gonna write these down.
He ain't Cassius Bear, that's for sure.
He's not fucking Cassius Bear, so it doesn't matter. Everyone is like, "We gotta go stop him," so they run down. But then Hoiru gets stopped by Tokonatsu because he didn't pass the playing house test.
Yeah,
And
he
now
didn't
has to play
alone.
house with him.
This scene was also a little weird, but also it was kind of wholesome.
I love this scene because it is very wholesome. It's very like emotional, but the whole time like he's still Tokonatsu's still dressed like the mom. He's got like the curly afro wig and like the glasses. It's so I love things like this where it's like it is serious and emotional, but it's so silly at the same
Yeah,
time.
it's so earnest, you know?
Mhm. I think this is something you can only not only really do, but in Tokusatsu it's done well. Where like just the premise of everything is silly.
Right.
So like when you mix like the silliness and like the real emotion, it gives you like a perfect combo.
Yeah,
like
I think they did do it well this episode. It was weird, but like it worked.
It's like that McDouble with the McDonald's Sprite, it's just perfect.
Yeah, and you can't just have any other Sprite. It's got to be the McDonald's Sprite.
Gotta be McDonald's Sprite. McDonald's Sprite honestly could solo the whole Kamen Rider verse.
I did. There was a weird line in this scene though, where Tokonatsu is just like, "All right, well, remember before you go anywhere, you got to do some pro wrestling with mommy."
Oh yeah, he's trying to wrestle him.
Yeah, trying to wrestle him down. That was weird.
He doesn't want to talk and he doesn't want to play.
And I was like,
So he just starts grabbing him.
That's weird.
We do learn about Horu's backstory.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, so we saw at the end of episode 3 or maybe 4 when we saw the photo of his family.
Right.
And now we get more that he and his brother somehow wandered into number one no one world.
Yeah, they wandered into no one world.
And they weren't the only ones. Like a lot of people were in that forest with them and then just like snap, like woke up in no one world.
Yeah, and apparently they built a connection according to Horu's story. Like they were all people that, they were surviving together. They lived there for a long time because he said he was in there for 10 years.
He was in there for 10 years. And during those 10 years, he lost not only his older brother, but someone else that he said he grew close with in there.
Right.
A woman.
Woman.
I think she was the flashbacks from earlier episodes where I said, I guess that's his mom. I don't think that was his mom.
Yeah,
no, I think that was the woman from No One World.
We did get to see what his mom looked like now.
Yeah, his mom does not look like that.
Nope, not at all.
But yeah, so what's going on? Why are people being sucked into No One World? in like a sleep-like trance. Is there like a number one sleepwalker that's like abducting people?
Number one, just kidnapper, just kidnapping people.
Yeah, because from what we've seen, this isn't like Gavv. Like the number ones only need one human to like come to our world, right?
Right.
And the Brydons don't seem like they're doing anything with humans. So I wonder, I don't know, why are humans ending up in no one world?
We have a
Hopefully we'll see.
mystery.
Mystery, little
But
bit.
next, after those 10 years, Hoaru makes it back to the human world,
Mm-hmm.
goes back to his family. Boom, his parents have replaced him and his brother with two new kids.
A little weird. I'll say it.
I put so many question marks after this. This is insane to me. They just disappear and his parents just immediately replace them.
Yeah, but it's okay. So it's been like 10 years, and the kids they're playing with are like elementary school age.
Right.
So Hoiru has like two younger brothers, but
He doesn't interact
it's
with them though.
yeah, because he's like my parents have moved on. But I don't know if I would see that as moved on as much as like, oh shit, I have two new brothers. you know?
That's
I mean maybe
fair.
it's everyone's brain works different, but I don't think I would see that as well, they replaced me. Guess I better like live in this lady's apartment that I can't afford.
See, and then that's another thing. I think I brought it up. I'm pretty sure I brought it up in a prior episode where
Hmm.
non-ring havers have a different perception of the world from the ring bearers or the ring wielders.
Mm.
I just think that by that point, because he was in no one world, maybe their perception of his existence possibly changed. Maybe they just don't realize that they had kids previously.
Oh, like their memories erased.
Yeah.
What if these aren't real kids, but they're no one clones of him and his brother?
No one child replacer. No,
Yep.
that's. I don't like that concept. Get it out of my brain.
I don't know.
Just the
It
fact
was
that you've
weird.
got like a monster replacing your children, just casually.
Scary, creepy monster. I don't know.
Spooky.
Again, I mean, it's good that we saw this from Hoyaru. I don't know if the thing about the parents makes that much sense to me. I mean, it's fine, whatever.
I mean, I think we're just missing puzzle pieces. I'm sure it'll be explained.
It's true. I mean, we're also adults. Like, I'm sure kids watching this would be like, "Oh no, I got replaced." Like, they'll be
100%.
able to identify with that for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah, this relates to Tokonatsu. He starts bawling,
And then we get Tokonatsu's backstory,
which is just that he's Don Momotaro
which is a
or
little weird.
Momoitaro,
Yeah,
I guess I should say.
Momoitaro, which is weird
Yeah.
because we previously had no indication that these characters with the Sentai rings would have any relation to what they're representing.
Mm-hmm. I do really like this though. That he's like a reinterpretation of Taro's backstory.
Right.
If you haven't seen Dawn Brothers, Taro as a child was so good at everything, and he pointed out at the ways people could do things better that everyone fucking hated him, and he had no friends.
Yeah.
He had no friends, and everyone in the town moved away because of how much they hated being around him.
Right. But you got Tokonatsu.
Yeah, and this reimagining, everyone's so impressed with how good Tokonatsu is at everything that they just become followers.
Yeah, they put him on a pedestal.
When he still wants friends. So it's very like they obviously it's both like they're good at everything, they want connections to people, but they have like opposite ends of people's reactions to them,
Right. It's
which
kind
is
of like
fun.
just like a warped perception of the concept of the character. Maybe that's what they're going for, where it's the same character but not quite, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, obviously it's not the same character because
Right.
he has a different name, but I think it's fun that they're like reimaginings of the actual Sentai.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing that indicated like not Taya was anything like Gira. And I don't know how you would like reimagine Gira because his background is so like fantasy based.
I
But
mean,
if they bring him back and do something, it'd be cool.
right. And I guess because he does, well, he'll definitely come back. He has to, unless they
Yeah.
off screen him. That'd be fucked up.
No, there's no way.
But yeah, he'll come back and probably we'll get more details on why he has his Sentai ring, what his wish is.
Hmm. I guess maybe you could make it about like something with his older brother. That would kind of tie it back to Gira, like if he has like a rivalry or something.
Right. That's true. Could be
But yeah,
interesting.
I mean, just how closely this one was to Taro was, I was like, whoa. I don't know. I love Don Brothers, so I was like, yay.
It was
I'm
neat.
sure when they do the same thing for a Sentai I haven't seen, like it'll just be whoosh, like right over my head.
Yeah, I
I guess,
mean, we have yet to see that, I guess.
yeah.
Because
I guess we just got lucky that the first like big ring warrior was from the show that I know.
that's true. Because, we get to the next episode and neither of us have any idea.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I don't know
We'll
where
get to
that.
that.
I don't know if that guy's somebody.
Fair enough. But yeah, after that, Tokonatsu and I was about to say Kira, Hoeru have a connection now. They're bestest of buds.
Their number one besto friendos. Oh, we find out that that was Tokonatsu's wish all along, was to have a best friend.
Yeah,
And now
honestly.
it's Hoeru.
Yeah, now it's Hoeru. Kind of
Yeah.
gives me, not Tokusatsu related, but it gives me vibes
Oh
of
god. Jujutsu
watching
Kaisen?
watching Madoka for
Uh,
the first time actually,
what the fuck?
where mommy wishes
Mommy.
that she wouldn't die alone, and oh boy, when she dies, she has friends. Very monkey's paw kind of wish.
I mean, that's the whole point of Madoka, right? All their wishes are like back ended.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a thing with the Sentai rings. Maybe you got to be careful what you wish for.
Oh, maybe Green will just keep getting younger and younger.
Ooh, you got a real Benjamin Button situation. But yeah, Tokonatsu's wish is get friends. He got a friend.
He got a friend, and now he's gonna fight with his friend
Indeed.
against the organization that he just teamed up with. Who, I'll be honest, rightfully pissed off at him.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, hey, what the fuck?
So Shining Knife, Sweet Cake come down. They can just get big on their own, I
Yeah,
guess.
whenever they fucking want.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck a mech, I guess.
Which forces Unicorn to make Tegasword Robo black
Yep, and they
for the first
fight
time.
in the Cake Stadium, and I don't. I guess I may not have realized it, but Tegasword gets a new form in this mode. Or in
Oh,
this
the
episode.
Centaur form.
Yeah, the Centaur form.
I was like, what do you mean?
Is
Yeah,
it
obviously
Rush
he's
mode
black
is
is
what it
new.
was called.
I don't remember. I just wrote down Centaur.
Yeah, so I wrote down Rush mode, so that's got to be what it is.
Mhm.
But
Mm.
it kind of gives me a idea. Oh, maybe Sword will have different forms for each animal. That'll make it interesting because I don't think we've seen anything like that before now.
But I mean, no one else's like animal gun has like parts to connect somewhere else.
Ooh,
The
that's
thing
an
about
interesting
Tegasword
point.
Black is that half the weapon is just the shield, and then the shield plugs into his butt and becomes the centaur.
So what? Unicorn is just a fucking cheater. She's just got extra parts to work with. Everybody else is just shit out of
I
luck.
mean, Red literally has no parts. He doesn't have anything.
That's true. Man's fighting with his bare hands.
I have seen the scans for Red's weapon and the new Tegasword Red.
He's
I'm not a
cheating.
fan. The weapon, it looks cool. The robot, like the toy of the robot, looks really bad.
You know what? I'll be the
So
judge
we'll
of
see.
that.
But I mean, until we see that, Tegasword Black Robo is probably my favorite of them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I thought it would be, and I think it is still.
Fair enough.
I like when the mechs have like a big shield. I
It's
don't
a
know
good
why.
design.
Yeah, I like it. So she's doing that, and then the other guys are fighting all the bellboy, or they're fighting Fire Candle.
They are fighting Fire Candle. Den just gets his shit rocked and fucking dies.
Yeah, sure.
Candle mourns.
Does he even really? He's just kind of like, third time's the charm. So just because I fucked up 2 times, next time I'll beat your ass.
Yeah, and then he fucking
teleports
dips.
away. Yeah. Apparently the Brydons can just teleport through anything ring shaped.
Yeah,
I think.
a little weird. It
Little
is
weird.
because he jumps in through the circle that's in the sword that Den just was holding, which I think is a load
Yeah.
of bullshit, honestly.
So we get Tato and not Tato. We get Tokonatsu
Tokonatsu versus
and
Hoeru.
Hoaru. They're fighting back to back, and Tokonatsu's like, "This is what I always dreamed, like fighting shoulder to shoulder." But then after all the bellboys are defeated, they turn to each other and say, "This is it."
Yep, 1v1 me, bro.
They do that little samurai thing where they both slash, but then only one of them falls. Do you think, could it be our main hero Hoeru who's gonna lose in episode 6? No.
Yeah, no.
No, he beats Tokonatsu, he beats Tamomotaro. Oh, there's one line when they're fighting together where Horu's like, I get the feeling you're the kind of guy who won't even die, or who won't die if he gets killed.
Yeah, that was a weird statement.
That's a fun nod to Don Brothers.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so he beats Tokonatsu. His silver Tegasword just kind of like explodes, like it's gone, and then all
Yeah.
the rings fly over to Hoeru.
Now you mentioned that it's a silver Tegasword.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't occur to me before that the Sentai Tegaswords are silver, and the
Uh
main
huh.
Tegaswords are gold. Like I just processed that this episode.
Really?
Yes, because I'm
I
stupid.
swear to God, we talk about that in like the first episode.
We'll go back in. I'll go back in time and see if that's the case. But I am just now processing that. It took me
Well,
three
I'm glad
episodes, so 4 weeks.
it took you 6 episodes.
Oh shit,
This is
he's right.
episode 6.
Fuck, he's right.
Anyway, Tokunatsu is sad, but he doesn't care because he's got a friend and he's gonna run for office again.
Yeah, because the first time worked out so well for him. Well, I guess he doesn't have a weapon of mass destruction now, so he should be
Look,
fine.
as Americans, I don't think we can speak about someone losing an election or someone getting impeached and then turning around and winning an election right
Oh,
after. I
listen.
don't I don't think we have room to speak on that.
Oh no. I voted.
And yeah,
I will say that.
I voted. I voted. God, did I vote? Anyway, the Hoeru gets the rings. These are the first rings he's gotten all show.
Yeah.
I forget which ones there. I mean, he gets Bokenger, he gets Dawn Brothers,
Uh,
and then he gets there's another one.
Time Ranger? Because I'm pretty
Time
sure.
Ranger.
Yeah,
Yeah, he gets
had,
Time Ranger.
Yeah, he had Time Red.
Yeah. So he gets those rings. They're in his pocket now. We were talking before about how our boy ain't got a damn ring, and now he's got 3 in one episode.
Indeed.
Which, I mean, I feel like we're racking up rings. There's only 50, and I feel like the combined in the team by the end of the next episode, we're at least like 16 or something.
Is this series going to end with them each with 10 rings? I guess so, right?
I guess so.
And
Well,
then they
but
have
then
to have,
Polar,
like, the final. Oh, you're right.
unless they're going to introduce like 6 Ranger rings.
That's
I don't
an
know.
interesting concept. Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, and then, sorry, this is something that they call back to after Tokunatsu's beaten, but it's something he said in the playing house scene that I liked. Where he's like, as long as you're alive, you can take back what you lost.
Ooh, yes.
Which,
that
again,
was a good
it's
one.
a good message.
It is a
Yeah.
very good message.
We had some good messages from Shoma and Gavv, and I think this one, there's also a good message.
Yeah.
It ain't over till it's over.
Good writing this episode. Weird writing, but also good writing.
Yeah, weird writing, good writing, much better than the next episode.
Yeah, Wrestle with Mommy.
Wrestle with Mommy. Speaking of Mommy, half of Shining Knife Sweet Cake is Mommy, kind of, and they regenerate.
They come back. That was a little OP.
Yeah, they're like, you think this is done? And they get big again.
Yeah, and then Unicorn's like, what the fuck? I literally just killed you.
Unicorn's like, what am I going to do? And they send a blaster, and it's blocked. By who? Could it be? The mighty Morphin Megazord.
No! Stop it! It's Daiji.
He goes, sit-ya! Sit-ya!
And he's got that damn canvas
He's
cape.
got the sick-ass fucking cloak. It's, I don't know if anyone's going to get this, but in Transformers Dark of the Moon, Megatron is like an oil tanker, and he has like it's the same thing, like a canvas cloak on. I don't know why. This has fully convinced me that they need to put capes on like the Megazords.
Hundreds of thousands of square feet of canvas just to cover your goddamn mech.
If I'm not going to consider the ramifications of like the actual engineering of these giant robots and giant vehicles and stuff, it's not beyond.
You're going to suspend your disbelief for these
I can
giant
suspend my disbelief
cloaks.
for a giant cape. They look fucking sick, dude.
It did look absolutely disgusting on Daiji.
He looks so fucking cool. It's like I don't know, man. They gotta do that shit.
It is a hella epic moment, not gonna lie.
I wonder because I don't know how popular Zyuranger is in Japan. Like, I know, like, I have a vague idea of which seasons are popular. I've never heard anything about Zyuranger being, like, crazy popular. I wonder if the reason they picked, like, Daijujin is because of the Power Rangers connection.
I mean, I did recently... Was it recently? I can't remember when I watched it. But, like, ever since Go Buster, Sentai have been actively making callbacks to Power Rangers. Like, they've made connections to their Across the Seas brethren. And I think it's interesting in that regard, where, maybe Daijujin is appearing now as the first, like, big Sentai character beyond Don Momotaro.
Right.
because of how iconic it is to the American audience.
It's possible. I don't know. I said it, and I don't even know if I believe it. It's also. I mean, as we're gonna see, the guy who has Tyranno Ranger ring, it's very much dino themed. So I wonder if they're just like, well, this is the oldest dinosaur themed Sentai Robo. We'll put Daijujin in. You know, because I
Oh,
think
maybe.
if we're just going popularity based, then I think it would be Kyoryujin, right? I think
That's
Kyoryujin
fair.
was like crazy
It
popular in
was.
Japan. It's so popular that it got a sequel in Korea.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a Korean sequel series to Kyoryuger.
Shit, am I watching that later? We'll see.
Uh, from what I've heard, it's not great,
It's
but
okay. I've watched
it's
worse
mostly
things, I'm
just
sure.
it's mostly just like recolors of the suits and stuff. I don't know. I don't know much about it, but yeah, maybe they just picked Daijujin because it's the oldest dinosaur one, and they're like, oh, this is pretty iconic.
Yeah, and then it does connect to the next episode. Relevancy
And I'll say,
speaking.
of like Daijujin, the Abaranger Mecha, Kyoryujin, and then the Ryu Soldier Robo, he's the best one, or he's the one that could pull off the cloak the best. So maybe they just had the idea of like, let's
Yeah.
put him in a cloak, and then they tried to figure out which one looked best.
No, that's fair. I don't think any of the other mechs would look good in the cloak.
Yeah, because they all have like weird shoulders. I think the other dinosaur ones.
Yeah. What is it? Because they all have weird.
Kyoryujin has like the head and the tail for shoulders.
Yeah. And
Um,
then
the Ryu Soldier one has like the drills that come up on his shoulders.
yeah.
Although he's modular, like I guess they could move on.
No,
And
yeah, no.
then,
I think Daijujin was the best way to go if they were gonna go with the cloak.
I mean, he pulls it off. And I want to speak more about him because we're going to episode 7.
Let's go.
We meet Tyranno Ranger Sentai Warrior Man.
Yeah, and he fucking one shots Shining Knife Sweet Cake.
Yeah, and they're like, "What the fuck, Daijujin?" They call him like the King of Beasts or God of Beasts or something.
Yeah, and they're like, holy shit, he survived the war.
Yeah, they're like, he shouldn't have survived the war. And that's true. Like, we saw the big pile of robos in the war, and then here he is walking around.
It's kind of curious.
He uses the cool, like the finisher where they do the lightning sword and he slashes through.
Ooh, yeah.
Pretty cool. And then Black is on her Jessica Jones shit. She's stalking around. She's stalking around Klein.
I'm gonna find my sister's killer.
Yeah, well, because something about Jessica Jones that I like. This is weird. Why did I bring this up? But she talks about being a PI where most of it is just following someone's cheating spouse.
Yeah,
It's like 90% of being a PI.
I checked out.
And that's what Black is doing. She's following somebody's fiance.
Oh, that's an interesting connection.
Yeah, I didn't until right now I didn't put this together because I just assumed it was a male fiance. But then as we see inside the no one, it's like a woman. So I guess there was a what? I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Wasn't even the same person. I don't even know that.
Yeah,
I
honestly,
couldn't tell
because
you.
we had no idea who was inside the no one.
Yeah, that's true. And then we get introduced to Tyranno Ranger, or Tyranno Ranger ring user man. Osai Meguru calls himself the Sentai archaeologist.
Yeah,
And we get a cool ass fucking scene.
we do get a cool ass scene, honestly.
We got a scene so good, I was mad when they cut away from it.
Because we get lore, baby.
So he is a Sentai archaeologist. And he said something about using the ring's power to
the ring's
restore
restorative powers, which
Daijujin.
really sets in that each of the powers that these rings have are not equivalent to each other. Kendra gets to build a building. This ring literally brought back
The
Daijujin.
Megazord. Yeah. And he calls what I guess we've been calling like the Sentai War or like a Robo War. He calls it the Universe War.
Yes.
Which is cool. So I guess, just relating it back, we've talked about how like Super Sentai aren't really in the same universe until they want to be.
Right.
So I'm wondering if this universe war was like all the universes Sentai coming together to fight the Great Darkness.
Ooh.
And then the Tegasword beat the darkness and establish this universe that we're currently in.
Multiversal war. What an interesting angle.
Certainly never been attempted by a big budget studio.
Yeah, no, this is clearly the most what's the meme? This is the most iconic.
Oh, the biggest crossover.
Yeah, the biggest
of all
crossover
time.
of all time.
Hey, you know what? It honestly, it can't go worse than the one for Marvel's.
This is the real multiversal story we needed.
You know what? It's at least the main villain it didn't beat up his girlfriend outside a restaurant.
Ooh,
Allegedly, I guess. I don't know.
allegedly.
If he's gonna sue my dumbass for saying that on the podcast, that he's never gonna hear about, but I'll still say allegedly.
Well, farewell Tokusatsu. It was good while we knew you. Or
Yeah.
Takusatsu.
Takusatsu, baby. No, we're taking the whole genre down with us.
Yeah, we're getting the genre canceled as a whole.
Mm-hmm. So he's also talking about his archaeology stuff, and it leads me to the conclusion that the Sentai are not known in this universe.
Right.
Like that was one of the questions we had about in the first episode. It was like, did everyone know that these robos and like the Sentai were disappearing? And I think we can settle on no.
Yeah.
He's talking about like what it means to be a Sentai and stuff.
Yeah, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And uncovering like the secrets of being a Sentai. So I think this is a world where no Sentai has existed until Gozyuger. Because he also mentions Gozyuger is unique because everyone else can only be the red,
Right.
but they have the full team of color.
And only the Gozyugers can use the Tega sword, which I think is an interesting statement. So all of these other Sentai Ring users have like the silver Tega sword.
Yeah.
So those aren't real. It's been established with this statement. Because only the Gozyugers can use the real Tega sword.
Oh, and do you think like someone else is making like the silver Tega swords then?
Like they have to be able to be mass produced in order for this ring war to exist, right?
Ooh, okay. Okay, theory. Okay, the big queen head in the Brydon Palace is silver, right?
Right.
Maybe she's making all the like the fake like the Sentai Tega swords to make them fight. Like maybe she gets energy off the fighting or something.
Or she's just trying to get them all to fight so that the Gozyugers have to like because okay, maybe the whole ring war is contrived to get them to fight each other. And there is actually not a wish at the end of this war. It was all just to get them to
no
kill
wish
each
to be
other.
granted.
Yeah.
It's just to get all like the strongest fighters to kill each other.
Right, exactly. You just
I'm
sniffing
scratching
what
what
I'm
you're sniffing.
scratching.
Speaking of scratching, that's a segue. I don't have anything for that. Jumping back to the other plot, we meet.
Plot. This is where we got mad.
This is where I got mad because they cut away. We meet the number one pervert. I forgot number one like heart throb or heart beater.
I called him a pickup artist.
Okay, you called him a pickup artist. I called him a pervert. It's clear we did not like this guy.
Yeah, no, it was awful.
He does have some cool missiles that we'll talk about later.
Are we going to talk about them? I thought we weren't going to talk about them, but I guess we are.
How are we not going to mention Onahole missiles?
They're Onahole missiles. We'll get back to them, I guess.
We'll get back. Do we have to? That's all I have to say about it.
Thank God. Let's go beyond that.
So he tries to pick up Sumino or Black, and it works. She's like, "Why is my heart beating?" And then Rikuo is like, "Well, I'll try." And she's like, "Why are you talking to me?
Why are you talking to me?" I mean, okay, she's like caught under a spell. And then Rikuo is like, "Yeah, I'm going to break that spell with my Riz." And he does it, I guess.
I guess he does. And then they challenge each other to the number one, no one heart beating palpitation contest.
Yeah.
Judged by Shining Night Sweet Cake.
Literally the three most biased people on the planet.
Luckily for Rikuo, his number one fan is one of the judges.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In Bouquet, because I would not have voted for him.
Absolutely.
They do a bunch of like funny, silly little gag challenges.
Honestly, it felt a little bit more creepy to me. Just them preying on women.
Yeah, it's a little not great. But the final challenge is to tell Sumino a secret on the beach. And we learn finally something about Blue as a person, as his backstory.
Did we?
We find out that someone who is jealous of him. Well, first of all, that he was a kid who never really cared about anything until he became like an idol. And then he loved doing it. Then some jealous person spread some rumors online, got him canceled.
Yep.
But he's going to work his way back to being the number one idol. And he wins. And I don't know. I hope this is not Blue's focus episode, but I have a sinking feeling that it is.
Which is unfortunate.
It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, don't like him. Don't care for him. Don't care for his backstory.
Not a fan.
Fingers crossed they do better.
Fingers crossed that at least Yellow's is better than this. I think if the other plot in your big like story reveal episode is way more interesting, you got a problem.
Fair point. I do think Yellow has the seeds of interest. We know that he's got a negative relationship with his father, so that'll be something.
Hmm.
I
We
do
know he's in a
think,
cult.
yeah, we know he's in a cult. I do think that the comedy beats he provides are pretty interesting.
Mm.
Like their interaction at the beginning of the episode. It's like, hey, get the fuck off, take a sword.
Right. Don't
Stop
touch
using
my
him as your
god.
house. The scene where he was the mom for like them playing house. I think that comedically it was done well through him.
That's true. I hope so. I don't know.
So ultimately, I do think that Tyranno is a more interesting character than Lion.
As of this point, yeah.
Yeah.
He's way more interesting than Blue, considering there's still a mystery to him. Whereas Blue is kind of like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, man literally just got slandered off the idol stage, and he's mad about it.
Yeah, he's butthurt. He literally got canceled and he's butthurt about it. Cry me a river.
See, and then
There's
the
so
whole
many
thing
people.
I mentioned before, it's like, oh, I used to have silver eyes. That's definitely a red herring. They won't do anything interesting with that. I'm calling it now.
You just cut out like crazy, but I assume in the edit I'll know what you said.
Yes. I was talking about how with Black, there's like, oh, my sister's kidnapper had silver eyes, and Rico apparently used
Oh,
to have silver eyes, and it's like, no, it's definitely a red herring. They're not going to do anything with it.
nope, he definitely killed her sister.
0% chance.
So cutting back to Tyranno and the other boys, he's like, "Hey, you have to be a team. Make me almu rice, and if
Oh
you do,
God,
I'll give you
yeah.
all my
It
rings."
was such an awkward cutaway too.
It was weird, and he just has all the dinosaur Sentai rings.
Yeah, you know,
Like I don't know. I was expecting this to go much slower, but I feel like we're gonna have all 50 by like mid-season.
I think they
And
have
then what?
to make things interesting because give them all of the rings, and then maybe the second half will be like their tournament arc because you know they still do want to fight for their wishes, right? They're gonna have to fight
Maybe.
each other at some point.
I hope so. It'd be cool. Oh, we should say right now, we have no idea who the actor is playing Tyranno Ranger in this.
Maybe we should know. Maybe we shouldn't
Maybe.
know.
I think he kind of reminded me of like I don't even remember their name, but like one of the game masters in Geats was like a skinny kind of guy, kind of like him.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I don't think it's the same guy, but
No,
that's the closest I got.
definitely not. It gave me Doctor Who vibes.
Oh yeah, because the
The bow
jacket, like the
tie, the
hat.
jacket, the
Yeah,
hat, the weird hair.
I'll say like we've talked before about how we thought this was going to be more like Gokaiger. I was expecting more cameos.
Yeah, but the only cameo we've gotten has been not
Is
Taya.
Taya? Yeah, so far we just got Taya, and then I think Tokonatsu was someone in an Ultraman series apparently, but I wouldn't count that because it's not Sentai.
Right.
So I'm wondering if we're gonna have like I don't know, is not Taya gonna be the only one that's like a direct cameo?
Yeah.
I
So
hope
far,
not,
it
but
feels less like an anniversary series than I was initially led to believe it would be.
it feels less like a celebration of the 50 years and more like how do I explain it? More like a series based on the
Yeah.
history of Super Sentai, if that
Right.
makes sense.
That that makes sense in my brain. It's like, yeah, it doesn't feel like we're doing anything.
You could replace all like the legacy Sentai rings with like new forms, and so far nothing would change right now.
Right.
And
Which I mean,
I don't know.
there's a reason to argue that that's an okay way to do it, because Revice was an anniversary series, and they didn't really do anything anniversary wise. It's just that each of the different forms that he had with his Vice stamps represented prior Common Rider, which I
But
thought
I
was
think
cool.
the Revise I haven't seen all of Revise, but I think the Revise anniversary aspect is one of the things that gets criticized a lot for. Because a lot of the stamps that are supposed to relate to other Kamen Riders are just like random.
It is pretty
Like the
random.
animal of the
Yeah.
stamp doesn't super relate to the show.
Yeah, which is true. I don't hate that about it. I think it's interesting in that they make the reference, but it's not super connected. So it doesn't feel like an anniversary series, and that's fine because I think it stands well on its own. And maybe that's
Hmm.
what it should be. Maybe a series should be able to stand on its own and not like be tied down by the fact that it's an anniversary series, and it shouldn't depend upon the need to rely on the references, right?
Right. I mean, I still love Gokaiger. I think Gokaiger is well loved by a lot of people. And even though Gokaiger has a lot of cameos, there were still a lot of episodes where there were no cameos to like establish the team as a team.
Right.
And I don't know, we could just be in that phase right now where it's like it's just awkward that we don't have any cameos, but we're like focusing on our new team, and then as soon as we establish everyone's background episode, we'll jump into like cameo, cameo, cameo.
Maybe.
But it is less anniversary coded than I was expecting.
Yeah, especially because it seemed like they made such a big deal out of it on release.
They made a big deal, and part of me wonders now if that's just marketing. Because if you really think about it, like every season since Zenkaiger, which was 45,
Right.
has had some kind of like anniversary stuff put into it.
That's true. Like Dawn Brothers just had it.
Yeah, Dawn Brothers just had basically Gokai changes, even though they barely used them because I doubt Inoue actually wanted to use them.
Right.
And then right after that, in King Oger, they just met up with Kyoryuger to celebrate like their anniversary.
Yeah. And then Boom Boonger, they had the Gokaigers come back.
Not just Gokaiger, they had Go-Angers in it,
Right.
Tokugers in it, and then Gokaiger and Joe. So maybe this is kind of like they're like, okay, we did like a couple cameos last season. We should put it more just straight like our new team.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping to see, especially because with not Tai in the first episode, I was like, oh, this will be fun. We'll see like other Reds, but like as different characters, like in the world,
Right.
And so far, we just haven't gotten that. But it's only episode 7.
That's true.
So.
See, but then at the same time, episode 7, we're almost a fifth of the way through the series, right?
That's crazy.
Like
that's true, but it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, but it's true. Like, because the Sentai, like these Tokusatsu series only get, as we mentioned before, like 46, 47 episodes, 48 episodes sometimes.
This is going to be 50. It has to be.
It literally has to be. It's in the name. If it isn't 50, name. I'll be so mad.
Yeah. That'll tint our entire review of Gozyuger in its final episode.
If that last episode doesn't say 5-0, oh baby.
If it doesn't say 5-0, it's getting an O from us.
That's right. 5-0, more like 0 out of 5. Am I right?
God, okay, we should get back. So they make the omurice by working together because the landlady's kid is like, why don't you work together? And then they do that, and that turns out that's exactly what the guy was wanting them to do.
Yeah,
so that was the whole challenge. They meet up together to fight the no one after he loses because he gets mad, and they do like a pose,
their first
like group pose. But Tyranno's like, yes, a roll call. But they don't do a roll call.
Yeah, they don't do a roll call. He was a little excited for no reason there.
Yeah, he jumped the gun a little bit there. I was hoping for a roll call. I thought that's what we were going to get. But instead, they just did a group pose.
Right.
And then he makes good on his promise, and he gives yellow and green the 2 other dino rings. Or no, he gives
yellow and black.
3? No, he only has... I'm sorry. I think earlier I said he has all the dino rings.
Yeah,
but Black already has the Ryusou ring.
Yeah.
So he has Abba Ranger, and he has Kyoryuger.
Yep.
Yeah, and he gives those to yellow and green, and then Red's like, what the fuck? And he's like, well, you fucked up your pose at first, so I'm not giving you shit.
That's a stupid reason.
But I'll
just
fight
didn't
with
have
you.
another one.
He did, but it meant he wouldn't have been able to transform.
That's true.
So we get our first look. I mean, yellow turns into Alma Ranger, I think. Yeah. It looks fine. Yellow, the armor already looks good. We get our first green Sentai transformation.
Oh man, that green armor.
And that green armor.
Don't look good.
It is. It's so green.
What a statement. It's so green. But you're not wrong. It is hella green.
It's so fucking green. And it's glossy too. It's made of like that like fabric from King Oger where it was like hella glossy.
Right.
That's what it looks like to me. And yeah, I mean, it's bad. We knew it was going to be bad. It's not on screen much, so
yeah,
there it is. I had no faith.
I had hope.
We do get to see Red. Hoyu's like, well, fine, fuck you. I'm just going to turn into Don Momotaro. And we get to see Don Momotaro with the Gozyuger armor, and it looks good. It looks good as fuck.
I mean, the red armor on the red it's literally meant to fit. There was no way it was going to look bad.
Yeah, we knew Hoyu was going to look the best on whoever they transform into. But I mean, come on. Like, I love Dawn Brothers, so getting to see Don Momotaro with the new armor is like, ooh, that's nice. I might like that more than Goldon Momotaro.
It's canon.
I'm actually not a huge Goldon Momotaro fan. I don't know if we ever talked about this.
And that's why you won't get the gold on attachment.
Yeah,
Or
that's why I
the
won't buy the Omikoshi
yeah, the
Phoenix. Is that what
Omikoshi
it's called?
Phoenix, yeah.
But that and it's also $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, they beat up to no one. Does he grow big or does a bell? I think a
Nope,
bell
they
comes with a
ride a
robot,
mech.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, the big bell robot. They fight him as I think. Does Hoyru fight him? Is it just Tegasword Red?
Yeah, just take a sword red.
Yeah, he's fighting him, and then Daijujin comes to save the day again. And it's so funny seeing them next to each other because the Daijujin suit is so chunky and blocky.
Yep.
It's like, damn, that really is like 30 years ago.
Yeah, honestly, they kind of figured things out with each Sentai series. Like, all right, slim down here, slim down there. The mech designs are a lot more compact now. We're not going to talk about the trains.
Hey, we can talk about the trains.
We're not going to talk about the trains.
We're not going to talk about the cubes. We're not going to talk about the cubes.
Every other mech is really sleek down. We're not going to talk about Q-Tamajin.
All right, we're not going to talk about the globes. Listen, when they don't want to shoehorn a gimmick into the robo, it's fine.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
So they beat it, and then they're all a team, and everyone's happy. And Tyranno's like, that's what I was talking about, guys. Being a team. Bam!
Man got murked.
He threw the fucking chest like fucking Jack Ruby. Or no, did Jack Ruby get shot? He shot Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Anyway, he got assassinated. Tyranno Ranger straight up gets assassinated right in front of him.
Which I will say, all you assholes that keep posting these TikTok memes that spoil the fuck. I knew about this scene so much earlier than before I watched the episode.
I mean, it is funny. It's straight up fucking Jason getting shot.
That's true.
I've already seen like the edits where he's like, all right, guys, that's how we use power.
Yeah. Anybody who has no concept of Sentai and grew up with Power Rangers, just watch Jason get fucking murdered.
Just watch Jason get shot in the back by Gunhead.
Gunhead
Gunman.
The Ring Hunter.
Yeah, the Ring Hunter. I forgot his name.
They didn't
Did
give
they say it in the preview?
No, they didn't.
Oh, then I've seen his name, but I forgot it.
That's fine.
He's Ring Hunter. I mean, we don't get a super good look. I think I like the suit except for the gun on his head. I wish it was anything else.
The X's just kind of give me like Red X vibes.
Oh, from Teen Titans?
Yeah, from Teen Titans, which isn't a bad thing. I just think it's interesting. It's a cool design, but gun on the head, questionable choice.
Yeah, gun on the head kind of ruins it. I did see on Reddit where his visor, except for like the X where the eye breaks out, is like the Gozyuger visors, like the ring around, like the dark ring.
Ooh, that's interesting.
So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
And then he has like the breakout with the eye. That's cool.
With that concept, I'm a little bit more interested.
I believe he has the Tega Ju, so it's like Tega gun instead of Tega sword. But it still has like a blade at the bottom. I feel like it'd look better without that. It just has like that weird part sticking out.
I mean, it's got the same issues as every other changer that's a gun, I suppose.
I suppose so. He looks cool. I can't wait to get into it. He's also pretty sure going to be Hoeru's brother.
You know what?
We get some scenes in the preview of Hoeru arguing with someone who, we don't know.
If it ain't
Probably
his brother,
Ring
I'll
Hunter.
be not surprised. If it is his brother, wouldn't be surprised. If it's not his brother, maybe a little surprised.
I'll say if it's not his brother's 100% Goju Polar. Or, I mean, they did introduce this new mystery girl. What if she's Goju Polar? We were talking about how we want the female sixth. I'd be down. Please. I think it'd be cool. I think it would not. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
probably children.
Okay, so I've been watching Boom Boonger. Real mad that they didn't get a female sixth after watching through it. Well, I haven't gotten that far, but after you saying that she wasn't going to be a sixth, I already knew that. But still,
I know.
Pretty mad about it.
There was one screenshot I remember, like how they released screenshots of the final episodes where it was her holding the boom boom changer.
No.
And everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's gonna happen! It'll only be for like one episode, but it's gonna happen." And then it didn't.
Now I'm mad.
It's a shame. I don't know. Female sixth. I want it.
Yes.
Where is it?
We need more of that.
We need more. Just do it. At least do it once, just to say you did it. You know.
Right. Come on.
Like, we still haven't had a female Red in however many years. And I know it's because
Uh,
toy sales, boys buy the toys, you want to market to boys, Red's the only one that sells. Like, I get it.
I mean, we did have a female Red.
For like a few episodes. Don't act like that's like the whole show.
I mean, Shinkenger did it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, she's there. She exists still beyond the X number of episodes.
But like, I'm talking about like from the opening, there's a Red female ranger.
You got to go to Power Rangers for that one.
Not even, because that's like season 3 of that storyline.
I mean, she gets it. Eventually.
I don't know. Goju Polar, Ring Hunter, one of them's his brother. We'll figure out which one next time. I don't have anything else I think to say about Gozyuger. Do you, my friend?
No, I think we covered everything we wanted to talk about, at least thus far.
Yeah.
7 episodes in, fifth of the way through the series almost. And, you know, things are a little bit different from expectations, but maybe that's not a bad thing. We have yet to figure that out.
I think it's fine. I think it's cool. I'm still with it. I think this batch of episodes for us is really funny because like the first episodes that we watched, I like it a lot, and then the second ones were kind of like, oh, whatever.
Right.
And it's just weird that happened with both Gavv and Gozyuger.
Yeah.
In the same episode.
It's kind of crazy.
It's a little weird. A little sassy.
But Tokusatsu is a roller coaster ride, and we're on it, baby.
We're on it till the wheels fall off or we die.
Final destination?
But I'm not going to talk about that on the podcast. Let's just do the outro.
Oh, God.
What is it? Tokusatsu. 2 guys talking Tokusatsu.
We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Peace.